What's up, Dirt Game? Zavit's Hussein, nice haircut. Thanks, man. Yeah, my hair was getting a little long. I don't know which direction it's supposed to go. What's up? It's Frozen. Haven't seen you in a minute. Man, where's your hair? I sold my hair for XRP, guys. You gotta do whatever it takes. Damn, why you cut your hair? Was it because I said you was the fifth Beatle? No, actually, no. So I usually like having shorter hair, especially in the summer. I've actually grown out my hair before, super long. And let me see if I can even show you guys a picture. Oh, geez. So I've had super long hair before. But yeah, no, I've got some pictures of me with super long hair. Maybe I'll show you guys sometime. Because yeah, my wife liked when I had long hair. XRP moon date, very fucking soon. It's Frozen. I know you guys are all waiting on the moon date. We're very near. We're very nigh. And I know that we're all trying to like catch it. And some people on the channel, with respect, don't actually like trying to catch the date. They don't like talking about dates. I think it's half the fun. What else are we gonna do? We're watching paint dry, guys. Are we not gonna try to call this shit? Imagine if I had called it. You know? Yes. People are so afraid that someone's gonna get mad if you're wrong on the date. Like, you ever been wrong about something? Like, what are you afraid of, guys? Come on. This channel is supposed to be educational and fun. And I love it. You guys are my family. I missed you guys. So I'll say I really wanted to do a live yesterday. I really wanted to hop on and do a live yesterday. I had to let the algorithm share that last video that I poured my heart and soul into. I had to let that, reach the people it needed to reach. And so I gave it like a full 24 hours, 36 hours to reach whoever it could reach. And then the views started to taper off. So, okay, so at least that got out. But if I start posting other stuff after like an important video like that I pour like 2 hours of my heart and soul into, and then, to start making other content, like people might, have missed it. So even though I was desperate to get on a live last night and hang out with you guys, I had to let it fly. We've got lost sheep out there, guys. There's lost sheep out there. Where's my staff? Damn it. I lost my staff again. What up? Be humble always. Good to see you. What up, everyone? God bless. OG back. What's up, brother? And great job these last weeks. Thank you so much. It has been the funnest couple weeks of my YouTube career. And man, it really does feel like a family in here, guys. No joke. We are not XRP friends. We are XRP family. At least in my group, Other XRP armies can do whatever the fuck they want. Our unit, fucking Spartans, man. Like, we're on the front lines. I want to get t-shirts made. It's gonna say easy XRP's army on the back. I thought it'd be cool if it said first to the front lines, last to leave battle. Because we are. I mean, like, I was last to leave battle on the Node network. I would have been there for another 10 hours if they let me. I rewatched that debate a couple of times. I fucking love it, guys. I actually outperformed Mikkel and Jake Claver in those for one reason, not because of the conspiracies and stuff. I didn't like hold anything back. Like, I wasn't like trying to be professional and stuff like that. They didn't, like, Mikkel and Jake Claver, they knocked out of the park. They destroyed and decimated the Node network. But I think our channel won because we can go gloves off, man. We're not performing for anyone. I'm not trying to get more subscribers. Like, I love the subscribers we have. I love the family we have. And that's why occasionally when I get a comment from like some random person like that, I haven't seen their name before, and they're like, oh, you shouldn't have tried to call this date. Look, now it's still $1. I'm like, who are you? You don't sound like XRP PEEZY army at all. You sound like fucking Sheeple fucking X-bot, like fucking fake XRP army. We are now, I think it's like 92. Let me double check. 93 subscribers away from, I lost one subscriber today. We were climbing and we lost one, so I'm at 907. They must have seen my rant video or something. But we are 93 away from 1,000 subscribers, and then other features on the lives unlock. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, just because it's not something that you think to do every time, click subscribe, and then like it just helps the algorithm. Because I told you guys, and from the bottom of my heart, I don't care about like how many subscribers we have in here. We only have so much time before price takes off, and then it won't really even matter. It's like we need to attract as many XRP army as possible to the channel, so that because I don't intend to monetize it. I don't care about monetizing it. You could make $28 a month doing YouTube content. That's not why. And I don't want one person, not one, to make the mistake of thinking like, oh, this guy's monetized, he must be paid to say this shit. No. This is free, guys. This is free. And I give it to you, the people. Okay, I gotta find that Bane video because that's literally how I feel. Let's see if that's an easy thing to search. Yep. Look like it's already in the. Yes. Yes. Wait. Is this what I want? Speakers. Okay. Well, anyways, they have Trump relating to Bane, but this is how I feel right now. This is for you guys. Here, let's see if I can like live stream this.
Giving it back to you, the people.
Sound was on,
and we give it back to you, the people.
Okay, have you guys ever seen that movie? Because that was really retarded. You guys ever seen that movie? That's how I feel, guys. This is free content because no one can miss this. I will not be the reason one person missed this, unless the rant took them out and they quit XRP because I'm too insane. All right, comments, guys. Are we getting more info from the notebook? Oh, the notebook. Let me see if there's one more thing in the notebook that I can pull up. That's an awesome comment, dude. I imagine you guys think that the notebook's probably more epic than it is. See here. That was an awesome comment, dude. Thanks. I have a note on the top here that says, they control everything. They want you out. And then it says Nephilim after that. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's in my notes. So if you guys want to see the notebook of somebody with like insane ADHD, that's that's like intro to my insane notebook. It just says Nephilim. If you guys don't know what Nephilim are, look it up sometime. It's really fun. Let's see here. Whoa, nice fade. Looking like $1 million already. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I needed a haircut. When I first started my channel, I had really long hair, and I'll be honest, my hair got so long because I didn't want to spend the money on XRP because I thought it was like imminent at that time, and I still believe it imminent now. There's been different stages of where I thought like that it's imminent, and I've never felt stronger than I do now. And I also wanted to add, like, making this YouTube channel, especially that last video I did after the rant. Like, I'm at such complete peace, feeling like I really got the message out there. And I'm going to continue to hunt for people to debate. If you guys can find someone to debate me, that'd be awesome. We don't even have to win these debates, guys. It's about getting the message out there. I think of how many people from the Node Network didn't know that all that stuff I said, including the Node Network guys. They didn't know who Bearable Guy was. They didn't know who the Riddlers were. They didn't know who they knew who BlackRock was, but they didn't know that this is all one pre-planned psyop. They didn't know any of that. And so I think a lot of people got 589CZ is in the house, guys. I haven't seen him. He's been on vacation. Bull Snot, what's up, man? What's cracking, PEEZY? Looking sharp, player. I love that. Thanks, be humble. How near? Imminent. Days, weeks, not months. Nah, I like when to find the moon date. It's fun. Yeah. So I follow what can I think of his name right now? White Wizard, which I've kind of become my own version of White Wizard, which is just this guy in this fuzzy robe with a wooden stick. But there's several white wizards. We all know this. What's up, Danio? He has to let off steam. Yeah. Letting off steam actually helps me a lot. Helps me. But think about it, you know, that rant video I did where I was all over the top, just like, that was how I really feel all the time. And so if you guys wonder why 75% of the people that I tell about XRP in person, even if I've just met them, buy XRP and have me help them buy it, it's because I do that to them in person. I scream in their face. That's the secret, guys. They're going to be homeless babies, which they are, which is sad, which is horrifying. But I mean, like, no. Fresh trim, Chris, looking sharp, ready for moon. Yeah, me too, man. XRP unit number 589. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, I need to add that to something. Thank you for saying that. I need to add that to like my description of my channel or something like that. XRP battle unit number 589. All right, guys, give me just a sec. My wife calling. I'll call her back. What timing? My wife calls me panicked because she's lost. Driving to like go to this little cute park to meet her mom to go watch a movie night in the park, and she cannot figure it out. So I had to like navigate her on the phone because I drive for a living. Wow, that was amazing. Hopefully you guys got to chat to yourself for a minute. Okay, let me scroll down here. Where were we? Dank, 9 sectors of Sound Tribe. Good to see you, man. Always good to see you. You are one of the original people to ever make a funny comment on my videos, and I will forever thank you for that. I always think about my slurps. We actually lost a subscriber after you said that because I addressed it, and then that guy had like, which you might as well. There was an actual condition of which hearing a slurp like makes you cringe and spaz out. And for me, it's dry towels. If I touch a dry towel, it makes me spaz out. It makes me feel sick to my stomach, and it gives me like chills. Like, ugh, dry towels. Did you see Ito Farina and Versan today? I did. I'm glad you asked that. Central banks accumulating gold. XRP and gold will go hand in hand. You know, nobody can say XRP is going to the moon and going to go to thousands of dollars in a more morose turn than Versan. Versan is so over XRP moon, guys. Like, if you ever need some hopium, listen to Versan talk about XRP mooning. He said, yeah, he's like, I think in the next month we're gonna see XRP achieve its, you know, true liquidity purpose, and I don't care if anyone believes me, and I don't care. Like, I was like, man, his moon date party is gonna be weird. Everyone's gonna be sitting around there all professional with like a glass of whiskey, be like, so that was fantastic, wasn't it? That was my Versan impression, if you guys have never heard it. I love Versan, but man, that guy is just a monotone genius. Do you have your XRP bought on more than one medium brokerage? Yeah, spread out. Spread out. I Trust Capital. I don't have Caleb and Brown yet. I just haven't. I'm lazy. But like Robinhood, even Kraken, and then most importantly, it's just moved to cold storage when it's done. And I was doing the Lord's work today, guys. So before I got on this live, I was electric scooting down to get my drink to my convenience store, and there's this old Asian guy there, and he's yoked. He's probably like 65, and he's buff. His arms are just like muscle. And I've always liked that guy. He doesn't speak much English, but I've been waiting for the moment, waiting for the right time. I was like, you know what? I just got to do this. Like, I felt empowered. I was like, do you have a pen and paper? And he goes like, pen, paper. And so it's like, he got me a piece of paper, got me a pen. I wrote down, I'm not kidding you, buy XRP. I made it as simple as I could. And then I wrote my YouTube, and I wrote easy XRP, and I handed it to him. And he looks at it and he goes, buy XRP. I was like, yes. And I scooted away with my alcohol. That's doing the Lord's work, guys. I was like, he'll get it. He's Asian. Every Asian gets it. I slurped that bad boy. Now it's getting dirty, 9 sectors. I'm Muslim and from Middle East. And today one of our mystical thinkers posted a tweet about the Phoenix. Wow. That's significant. Ouroboros snake and the worldview of the elite. He doesn't even know about the XRP riddle. Wow. There is some strong spiritual energy around XRP. I'll tell you that much. Thanks for sharing that story. Free 99. Oh, yeah. I burned 5 XRP on my favorite drink. Trump is Bane. I know. I was looking for just Bane, and it said it put Trump with it. So I don't know. It's probably a liberal that posted that. Peace. Spooky is Batman. My name. LOL. I love that notebook. Big bucks. I think you love the idea of the notebook because the notebook's in here. The things I occasionally jot down that I want to mention on the channel, it would sincerely underwhelm you if you read my notebook. You'd be like, Nephilim, like Phoenix, bearable guy. Like what? It would just like there's like the notes don't make sense unless you're trying to trigger something here. Have you seen Eminem notebook? I have not. Merle, we only have good days, and good days, brother. Keep on going, yeah. And I wanted to say right before I got so rudely interrupted by the love of my life, she is lost and useless on the road. I wanted to say this channel has made me come alive. I genuinely want to thank you guys for allowing this channel to become something. Because without you guys, it would have never become anything. If it was me and 3 subscribers and occasionally I'd get like 1 comment, it wouldn't be anything. And so thank you for that. Thank you for being part of that debate. Thank you for supporting me during that debate. I still had to go back and read all your guys' comments. It was fire. And you guys had more faith in me in that debate than I did. Not because I thought that they would know something I didn't, but because I didn't know how they were gonna, react. I thought they were gonna have a lot more reactions than they did. And so decimating them steamrolling them was made quite easy. Thanks to their lack of knowing anything. I'm sorry, that was just the easiest way to explain it. Okay, did you see Extra Mod vid last night about Saturn and XRP and Luciferian astrology? Yes, and a lot of X posts were about that as well, including Old White Wizard. There are some videos that Extra Mod makes that I actually am like shocked at how much he like knows. And then there's videos that I watch of his where I'm like shocked at how much he doesn't know. He thinks Bitcoin's going to $300,000 and that's going to cause XRP to like take off. Like, no. Bitcoin's going to die and they're going to convert Bitcoin to XRP. At least Satoshi's wallet. The Node network was playing stupid. They are invested into XRP and they know it will be a top tier asset. I'm good at reading people. Yeah. And I'm good at reading people too. And I could see that could be the case. And I'm glad you said that because like, I was thinking that a little bit too. And I was just like, I don't really have any like for sure evidence of that, but like you can tell the way that they play their debates that they're not super concerned about it. So yeah, that's very, very, very interesting then. Imagine losing 40,000 XRP. That's crazy. He won't be able to sleep in the next 6 months, man. Yeah. And see, today I saw a comment on Jake Claver's post because he posted that you can get Digital Ascension Group storage at Anchorage if you have 25,000 XRP. But one of the comments said Digital Ascension Group like lost 11,000 of my XRP in one of their products. And I wouldn't blame Digital Ascension Group per se because I don't know all the details. But I will say this. It is too early to try to gain yield off XRP. It is a dumb move. Trying to gain yield off XRP right now is just too new. It's too volatile. It's too cheap. It is just a bad idea to try to get yield off your XRP. So if you have anything wrapped with your XRP, just unwrap it, just put XRP in cold storage and just wait until the new system is here and settled. And then wait to see and wait for reviews on good products. So I don't want anyone losing 11,000 XRP. I mean, that's devastating. X marks the real place to be. Free to be you, free to be me. Shine on, Chris. Thank you for saying that, man. Really, you guys are all so nice to me. It's really, really an honor to be serving an XRP army. And you guys are all so nice to me. This break in programming sponsored by Bitcoin, the coin that has new value. No, back to you. Now back to you. Nice, man. We should do ads like that. Where did you go? Oh, Trey, I disappeared because my wife called because she's hopeless on the road by herself and she got lost and needed my help or at least just to vent. And then I came back. XRP is a lie. YouTubers are the ones making money out of dumbass people. Lionel, XRP to $100, all BS $20. Lionel, I don't know if you're for or against XRP. I don't know if English is your first language. Maybe use Google Translate or something like that and just try to really hone in your message and just send one and then I'll read it. Lion, you are like, you guys remember being in middle school? Like, your mom is a lie. Like, just that kind of dumb shit. Eddie the Great, why are you here? Yeah. I mean, there are people that troll and go back and forth between different channels of stuff that they don't like and just troll. Like, you gotta let them troll, guys. That's their hobby. XRP Batman, money little maker, I'll buy your YouTube channel, Lion, and kick you off the internet. Just to laugh, yeah. See, he's here just to have fun. Let him have fun. Stewart level, Lionel, 62,000 on one Bitcoin or $126,000 on XRP. You do the math. Yeah, I mean, XRP is the obvious choice. I think is what you're saying. XRP Batman, yeah, Lion is all stays, but XRP is going to be the backbone of our new system. Sorry. Where is he, bro? Oh, yeah, that's funny. I don't get why people don't believe XRP can do what Bitcoin way back when, and XRP has better utility. Fools. Yeah, it is impossible to believe how many people miss XRP and how powerful it is, and the fact that XRP was the whole point of cryptography. And you know, at the same time, give them a little bit of grace, because think of it, the entire New World Order elites aimed everything that they could at making people think that. So the fact that they bought it hook, line, and sinker, I mean, that's its own thing. And you know, what it really comes down to is it's like that. It's all by design. So anyone that just bought it hook, line, and sinker, like, oh, XRP is crap, and then they, you know, it's just like the C19, you know, the medicine that they were pushing. You know, everyone that thought that was, you know, helpful and a good idea was really mean to people that knew it wasn't. And so it's the same concept. It's just this mind like group of people that want to be part of something. And so like it's a mind hive. So like these 100 people over here on X say like, oh, XRP is crap. They get involved and become part of that if they don't even know or care about XRP, because it's easy. It's an easy way for them to be accepted, is what it is. XRP decode when? We'll do a night probably soon where like we actually look up White Wizards posts and stuff like that. Maybe tonight. I mean, I'll just have to pull this stuff up. There's a lot of cool decodes. I think he fell in. Yeah, no, I was not dropping a fat shit. I was talking to my wife on the phone. I would have actually let you guys know if I had to take an emergency shit, because it'd be good content. XRP isn't fake, but Brad and all of them are. August 19th, the financial giants and elites gather for crypto conference. Yes. What do you guys think about that? And Baba Kug said it all happens before August 22nd. He said that one time. Now we know Baba Kugs is a giant cuck, and he like changes things and makes things hard to understand. But I mean, good shit, guys. It's not for everyone. Don't take it personal, guys. Yeah. Like I didn't take anything that the Node Network did personally. I was heated because I wanted more. I was like, my gloves are off now. Just like, bring it, you know? And now I love those guys. You know, honestly, like I don't like that they spread FUD. There's a lot of people I like in my life that I don't like certain things they do. But those guys are obnoxiously likable, like as people. Like when I went on the conspiracy channel, it's like, God damn it, these guys are so likable. Like I just like I think if they use XRP to their advantage and to talk FUD about XRP and some people miss it, I don't like that. That's why our channel's here. But as guys, God, they were really annoyingly enjoyable to hang out with. DNFLYA, thanks for the quick responses from comments on other videos. I need to figure out the whole yield part compared high yield savings accounts. Yeah, and there will be, you know, look at this. DNFLYA, I will address that. You know, we are waiting for a 1000x move on XRP. So the 5% yield you can gain off of anything right now, it doesn't matter. Your life is going to be forever changed very soon if you hold XRP. And they're going to power this new system on and transfer all the liquidity there. And so like high yield savings accounts right now don't matter. It'd be like you knew they were about to give out nuclear weapons to people in a financial metaphor sense. And then you're like sitting there worried about like your BB gun. Like, where do I aim my BB gun? No one cares about your BB gun. Just wait for the fucking nuclear bombs to come. They're going to be dishing out like nuclear bomb size liquidity to each XRP holder. Just put your BB gun in the storage. Capital One Man One. Hi Chris, new to your channel here. Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for everything, brother. Appreciate you guys. I cannot tell you guys how much I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. You guys are all special to me. I've gotten to know a lot of you. A lot of you are like OGs. You've been here since the beginning. And even if you're not an OG, I've gotten to know you a bit. And Capital Man One, it's great having you, man. We have a lot of, you know, I like the Q&As. The lives have become the most watched thing that I do. Nice haircut. Appreciate you, Madab. I spent 30 XRP on this haircut today. Maybe 32. Should I sell my Pokemon cards for XRP? Yes. I don't know if it was you that asked that a couple months ago. Somebody asked that a couple months ago. And I was like, you know, unless they're super sentimental. If they're super sentimental, you know, that can be more valuable than money sometimes. But like if you have $1,000 worth of Pokemon cards and you could buy 1,000 XRP and in 6 to 7 months, 6, 7, it's like that was $1 million move. You can then go back and be patient and buy your XRP or your Pokemon cards back, or like just sell them to somebody that you know that is willing to pay for them. And then like after price appreciates, be like, hey, can I buy those back for double? And you just made a $998,000 move. So not financial advice, but that's how I look at it. Fake YouTuber knows nothing. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of evidence on my channel that I know nothing, Lionel. Thank you for noticing. I used to get the same haircuts, Chris, when I was 5. Members. Just making money off you idiots. Who's making money off of us, Lionel? Who's making money off of us? Bulls not XRP. I think Pokemon was timed perfect to keep folks out of crypto. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bulls not. And Bulls not, you know, I've been asking people if they want to come on the live. You have a channel too. I mean, I know it takes forever to build subscribers, Bulls not, unless you start yelling and screaming at the camera. Like I did. But dude, I love your XRP. If you guys haven't followed Bulls not XRP, he knows his shit. He's solid. He knows his shit. His videos are solid content. If anything, Bulls not, I would say talk a little bit faster, just because like people have the attention span of a fucking goldfish. I love your videos. When you post videos, I'm always like excited to go watch them. And that video made talking to me directly, I was like, that was awesome. I really appreciate that. Bulls not XRP is an OG. He'll always be an OG. He's family. And yeah, I got to do a live with him sometime because he knows his fucking shit, guys. It's just hard to be found on YouTube unless you're fucking insane like me. The only reason I have so many subscribers now is in a relatively quick period of time is because I'm fucking insane, guys. Santaya's in the house, guys. Hello, everyone. DNFLYA. But yeah, go subscribe to Bulls Not, guys. He makes content and it's worth it. He isn't making anything from doing this, dude. He is educating us all and wants to see us feel. I think that Lionel is saying that Ripple's making money off of us, which is fair. They did need to make money off of retail for a while, but now that 74% of XRP is held by wallets that have more than 1 million XRP, that's no longer the case, Lionel. So we're just hanging on, waiting until they power the new system on, and we just want to become wealthy, Lionel. But it's fun to have you on the channel, Lionel. It makes for great content, and I think you're a funny guy. And so if you want to hang out, hang out. Sirac40, what's up, bro? What's up, Sirac? Sirac with the fattest sack. You know, Sirac, I love that we got to change your name on the Discord. So thank you for that. DNFLYA. Oh, and if anyone hasn't joined the Discord, join the Discord server. Let me add that to the how Chris feels with his new haircut, guys. Oh man, damn it, Spooky. You're too good. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't even know what I was doing. Okay. Invite to channel. I'm dying right now because of Spooky. And I'm going to add that to the description. Discord server, our group Discord server. Save. And everyone go to Discord right now to see the picture Spooky posted of me. That is how I feel, Spooky. New Mom's in the house. Hey, New Mom, how you doing? New Mom, are you in the Discord? I don't know if you're in the Discord server. If you're on the Discord server, I don't know what your name in the Discord server is. Very special woman in the chat now. See here. Eddie the Great, ignore Lionel. But Lionel's fun. I think Lionel trolls for a living. So it's or for a hobby, sorry. It's Frozen. XRP versus Pokemon cards, investing analysis. What? That's a whole different notebook. It's Frozen. That's a whole different notebook. Jacobin is new to the channel a little bit. And Jacobin, I have really enjoyed your comments. I loved your comments on the debate. And Jacobin, you get it. And I love having you on the channel. So thanks for being here, Jacobin. And if it's Jacobin, forgive me. 589 days between Brad's president meetings. Yes. Look, like, if you just wanted to know that XRP was going to go to thousands of dollars, all you need to know is how many astronomical, like numerically impossible times they have integrated 589 into things. Like 589 days between Brad Garlinghouse's meetings with Trump. 589 on the Fibonacci. 589 on the X-Wing from Star Wars. You got 589. And you got Not Financial Advice who like labels them all. It's unlimited Like there's different times I'll see a post on X where like, oh, it's been like, 5 months and 8 weeks and 9 days since like this date to here from a Riddler. And I'm like, oh my God. And they're correct. Out of at Rock On Brother, at work watching in the download. Nice, man. When I was at work for my furniture business, I had a Bluetooth headset in my ear. I lost my first set. My first set was my favorite, so I have this one as backup. But my first set, I thousands of hours listening to everything. Dry stuff, neutral stuff, bad stuff, good stuff. And that's why it's like, and then combined with my 16 years of conspiracy research, it's why when you guys ask me questions, I just like unload shit on you because I'm like, oh, I remember this happened, or I remember this guy said this, and just like, and then it's like when I'm on a debate, apparently I steamroll people who've been in the space for 10 years. I steamrolled right over them, like Austin Powers, like, ah! Austin Powers driving like 1 mile an hour, ah! And they just let me steamroll over them in slow motion. They had no rebuttal. Are you not entertained? Gladiator. Scott Ellis. Will we be able to sell our XRP at high prices, or will we be able to just put our XRP with someone and earn yield off it? Both. XRP will be very desirable. It'll be, repriced, but it'll be very desirable. There will be institutions coming for months and years afterwards that missed this event, that weren't part of the plan, and that weren't told the plan ahead of time, and they're going to need to hold XRP as a collateral asset. It'd be like asking, are you going to be able to sell gold at a high price, or will you just get yield off of it? It's the same thing. It's going to be later labeled a tier 1 commodity, tier 1 asset. It's going to be a global liquidity layer, global collateral. So that's why it's so hard for people like the Node Network to understand it. Simply just because like they see it as like, these are all speculative assets. These are all, they might be used. We don't know which one's going to be used the most. And like some of these, like, civilians can build on and stuff. It's all games. It's all a casino. It's all an illusion. I just slurped quite a bit there, 9 sectors. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have more control than others. G'day, bro, from Melbourne, Australia. G'day, mate. That's my Australian president. Galactor me. Gala. Will you please tell me how to say your name, man? It's a cool name. I just can't, I don't know how to say it. Bull's not. I'm 40. I can't be out here with Pokemon like that. Hey, I love Pokemon. I remember, so I'll tell you guys a funny story. My mom was against Pokemon because of the whole evolutionary, and we don't believe in evolution. And I was like, but it's just like a, game. It's just like a card game. And she didn't want me to have Pokemon cards. So sad story. I drew my own Pokemon cards when I was a kid. And then eventually she let me get them. But I mean, I was for years, I was drawing Pokemon cards and playing with those. That's why I'm so weird. But Lionel, you're making me want to buy more XRP. Good. Fucking good, man. Not financial advice, but fucking good. Raw Food Writer. Hey, Chris, what's up, man? Do you think we will moon soon? Very soon. Just bought a little more yesterday. Nice, guys. Nice. And in the words of Verson, it's a very good time to buy XRP. But you got to be morose if you're Verson. So, Andy Crazy GameStop. Pokemon cards aren't the New World Order plan. Yeah, so like I was listening to, I don't know if you guys listened to Verson and Ito today, but I was listening to their video just like an hour ago, and I died laughing. I know Verson doesn't make jokes very often, but like during the conversation back and forth between Ito and Verson, Ito goes, man, I've been buying XRP and stacking more, even at like $1, and I feel like it's really awesome time to buy. It's like, Verson, have you been buying or stacking any more XRP? And Verson just goes, no. Verson is so funny without trying that it's like, he's the fucking goat. Pokemon cards aren't the New World Order plan. Yeah, you saw that video? That was just a clip from like a live we did, and I was like, that's a pretty good clip. I've been texting Dave from NodeNet. He can't give moneymakers in the house, guys. Moneymaker, XRP. He can't give basic answers to all questions. I've noticed that. But you know what, Moneymaker, I've noticed? It's almost like, especially on X, he's like afraid to say what he really thinks. Like other people will say stuff that kind of goes with his narrative, and he'll be like, yeah, good point. but like he's kind of afraid on it, and he's not. I also don't know why he's so bad at typing. When he was typing like in the live chat, it's like comes out like an 8-year-old typed. Why is Ripple the only blockchain invited to the White House this week? Yeah. And the fact that like David and Mike try to actually like insinuate that like, and I think I addressed it on their debate, like that like Ripple won't use XRP. I was like, if you guys had $100 million business and you bought 100,000 vehicles for the business, do you think anyone in their right mind would think that you don't intend to use those 100,000 vehicles for business? It's the same for XRP and Ripple. Like Ripple took over 40% of the supply originally of XRP, and you don't think that they intend to use it? Why would they do that? Why would they have put into escrow? Why would David Schwartz come out and say, like, the number one responsibility and purpose of Ripple is to distribute XRP correctly if they weren't going to use it? Why? Because the price is low today? I need more debate. Moneymaker, why is it the hottest ETF? Why is it the fastest growing RWA blockchain? Yeah, they don't get it. Professor Hedgehog, that's a cool name, man. Hey Chris, happy I found your channel. Me too. I'm happy you found it. I have a video I made on my channel about civilizational collapse. Sounds like I'd love that video. And the relation to monetary debasement. From my research, whenever a country starts intervening in their currency on a consistent basis, the currency will collapse. Wow. Beautifully said, man. And I've been asking people if they want to come on live with me. It sounds like you'd be the perfect person to come on with. Prof Hedgehog. Thank you for joining the channel, and good to have you, man. Prof Hedgehog. You actually have Sonic the Hedgehog on your page. That is awesome, dude. Unless I'm on the wrong page. Okay, I'm on the wrong page. Sorry. Where can we find you? Could you post? I'm so bad at YouTube. Could you post a link to your channel? Because I am so bad. I found a Sonic the Hedgehog channel, and it's not you. I'm sorry. Will you please post like a link to your channel? Haircut. Yeah, inner monologue. Got a haircut today. Spent 32 XRP on it, which was a $32,000 decision, but we can't all look like Moses. British pound, Swiss franc, Thai baht, same thing. Yeah, good note. Big Parks 10. I have a lot of physical silver. What's your price prediction by 2030 to maybe 2035? Some people are saying $300 casually, man. Physical silver casually $300. Not only during this great reset are people going to be pouring tons of money and liquidity into silver as well as XRP. But I mean, like I said in my video or on the debate, I educated the Node network that the solid state battery that just came out, the Samsung, and they invented a better lithium ion battery, and it requires twice as much silver. And every year, because I went down to silver deep dive a little bit, like 5%, because of XRP and the bearable guy, or sorry, according to David, who's Cartoon Bear? I was like, bearable guy, waiting for him to like address and rebuttal like the Riddlers. And he goes, I don't know. Like, what? You've done deep dives on XRP and you haven't heard of bearable guy? Please. Sorry. So it's easily going to hit $300 silver, casually. And physical silver and gold will be extremely important to hold in the future. Extremely important. It will be because there will come a time, even after price appreciation of XRP, in which like you'll need to trade with physical assets as well. And so kudos to you, man, for holding physical silver. That's a great play, and it's going to be huge play. I think even like $1,000 silver, like in the future. Professor Hedgehog. So essentially, we will get a new reserve currency, which I believe will be digital. Yeah, very well said, man. That's exactly what I think. Madav, LOL, Lionel, the bad guys of this world use Pokemon Go for location data gathering, UNPC. That is really well said. That is definitely something to consider. I didn't play Pokemon Go, but man, the whole world did. It's frozen. I'm going to start doing XRP videos. Nice. I would say this. even though it's asinine to try to build your subscriber base, it has been the funnest journey for me building this YouTube channel. And what I found that's even more important than the amount of subscribers that you have is the quality of subscribers that you have. And 99% of my subscribers are fucking gold. You guys are fucking gems in my book. You guys are all elite XRP Army frontliners, and you're all extremely weird in the best way. And so it's like, if you want to start a YouTube video, the first couple of videos you make are really uncomfortable because you're alone staring at your phone. But as it evolves, I feel 1000% comfortable here. And on that debate, I felt like 1000% comfortable. So you're never really concerned about how many people are watching. It's just like, you know, you come alive throughout, you know, building your YouTube channel. So I can't wait to see your videos. And if you want to come on and do a live with me and like, you know, that would be really fun. Both not. Thanks, PEEZY. I don't know if I know anything really. You do, man. Don't cut yourself short like that. You know, you're holding XRP with a conviction like, you know, a lot of people wish that they had. I just don't trust the government at all. So when it comes to XRP, it all makes sense. Yeah, that is knowing something, man. You know shit. Scott Ellis, will XRP hit $1,000 overnight, or how long will it take to make that move up? Nobody really knows for sure. There's 1,000 different theories as to how it's going to happen. You know, Jake Claver has his theory that there's a supply shock, kind of like Shane Ellis theory, which is funny that your name is Scott Ellis because there's a Shane Ellis theory. It's very popular. XRP runs out and then the price just gaps up because there's none left. And so it's a bidding war. There's also the theory that, you know, they could just reprice it. Like the IMF could come out and they could just say like, you know, like they repriced gold 50 years ago. They could just come out and say like, you know, tell Coinbase to reprice their XRP at $25,000. And Coinbase would list their next ask of XRP at $25,000. And then they'd come out and make an announcement and say, okay, if banks want to keep the doors open, they need to hold XRP as collateral. Otherwise, they need to go out of business. That's how it could happen. But the reason Jake Claver thinks that it will be a FOMO forced price up event is because the asset needs to have some flexibility. The asset needs to be able to grow. And then Crypto Phoenix, you know, he's got a theory that it goes straight to $100,000. Either way, you become wealthy very quick compared to any other asset on the planet. It is considered a wealth transfer, and it will feel that way. It will feel, if it's not overnight, it'll feel overnight. True Story TV, the earth is flat and XRP will be the new financial system, the great reset. You are sprechen my language, man. And I will say this, a lot of people are against flat earth theory. The reason I'm pro flat earth theory is because they lied to us about fucking everything else. Why would they tell us the truth about the shape of the earth? And it benefits them if everyone thinks that the earth is something other than it is, because, especially like the same as the moon, because they don't want you to believe the Bible's real, is what it comes down to. The root layer for a lot of things in life is that they don't want you to believe the Bible's real. Stefan, what up, Chris? What's up, Stefan? How's it going? Remember when I didn't know whether you were Steven or Stefan? It's frozen. I have 3,500 XRP. I need to reach 5,000 XRP ASAP. You know, but it's frozen. You don't need to reach 5,000 XRP. It's great if you do, but God is intending all of us to have the exact amount of XRP He meant for us to have when this happens. So don't stress about it. If it goes straight to $100,000 a coin, you'll never even think about how much XRP you have. You'll just be wealthy. And so if it takes a few years to get to $100,000, you're still crushing it. So it's frozen. You guys, I don't want anyone here on this channel stressing about how much XRP they have. I went through that phase for like 6 months and I got over it. I was like, God will allow me to have however much XRP I need, and then I will steward it correctly and make sure that it lasts as long as it needs to and help as many people as I can. Excuse me. Den and you, no one knows how high XRP can go or when. Yeah, nobody knows exactly how high it's going to go. Nobody knows when, but we all are concluding and like deducing like very, very, very fucking soon. They can only hold on so much longer, guys. The reverse carry trade from Japan can only hold on so much longer. Oh, Lionel's still with us, guys. Lionel's a trooper. Scott, you're an idiot dreamer. Gotta love the trolls, guys. Oh, you know what I should do? I should pull up Cat Williams about haters, because you gotta let them hate. All right, here we go. You guys got to see this. This is for you, Lionel. Love you, Lionel.
Just saying, live your motherfucking life. You got to get your motherfucking hustle. Understand niggas is going to hate you regardless. Get that out of your head, that fantasy world where niggas ain't hating on you. You got to be grateful. You need haters. What the fuck is you complaining about? What the fuck do you think a hater's job is? To fucking hate. So let them motherfuckers do their goddamn job. What the fuck is you complaining about? Ladies, if you got 14 women hating on you, you need to figure out how the fuck to get to 16 before the summer get here. The fuck is you mad about? Fellas, if you got 20 haters, you need 40 of them motherfuckers. What is you complaining about? If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
That's for you, Lionel. Feel free to hate on me. I can take it. I was built for it. Scott Ellis, haha, he's the one who said waiting for 1,000x. I want to know his opinion. Oh, okay. Talking about me. Jay Coben, what's the deal with Palm Beach Pete? He's Jeffrey Epstein. That's what the deal with is. Anytime, so let me put it this way. Anytime that there's a conspiracy around something, 9 times out of 10, it's got some truth to it. And the more you spend in the conspiracy realm, of which is not, this channel is not all about conspiracy, but I'm a deep dive 16-year veteran conspiracy theorist. I'm not a veteran, but I'm a veteran in the conspiracy army. And anytime that it seems like something's a certain way, it usually is. They want to mock you. They want to piss you off. They want to make you mad. And so they put them. I mean, like, did you get to see that video of that guy that drove up to Palm Beach Pete? And Palm Beach Pete was in his like Mercedes convertible, pretty expensive car. And they pulled up next to him and they said, "Hey, Jeffrey." And he looks over like this. He goes, "Oh, I'm on camera and I'm not Jeff." Oh, and he drives away. I mean, like, guys. Okay, Galactor me, Gal actor me, Gal actor me. Okay, sorry. Nice, man. Nice. Okay, so Gal actor. You're not a Gal actor. I was thinking Galaxy or Galactic Alliance or something like that. Conscious Minds, Chris, thanks for the early live. East Coast time. It's almost go time early. Yes, and it's good to have you. I got to do an early live today because I got my work done earlier today. And it's good hanging out with you guys. I wanted to have an early live on Saturday so people had an opportunity to catch it. Because a lot of times my lives are so random and sporadic and thrown out and late that, like, you know, a lot of people can't make it. And it makes me feel bad. I don't want people to miss it just because, you know, I'm, you know, not able to do it earlier. It's from G-Force cartoon from the 80s. Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Lionel, he said good, but not financial advice. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Conscious Minds, I would hate to play poker with Versan. Yeah, because Versan has a poker face when he's happy. What do you think his poker face is when he means business? Like, and his brother's the same way. Are those two fucking Vulcan? Like, no emotion. I've seen him laugh twice. Bulls not. Maybe if they had vintage Playboy iCards, I'd be down with it. Nice, dude. Brian PA, how do we join the Discord? So I put the link in the description, Brian PA. So it should be there. Let me just edit it and make sure. Yep. So it's there. So you can click that link, and if you have Discord, it'll take you to the server. We have now, let's see here, 10 live in the server. We have 66 people in the server, and it's growing. And I think it's an important thing to have, especially post price appreciation. And the most important thing about the server is I say the most outlandish shit I can on YouTube about crypto conspiracies and XRP. And so when I get shut down, We will all retreat the OGs to Discord. Merle, Alba, and we will reassess our lives. But by then, price will have happened. Merle, big parks 10, 300 silver will be soon. Yes, I agree 1,000%. It wanted to do it when silver was running to 120. It wanted to do it, but they released COMEX rule 589. Can't make this shit up. They released COMEX rule 589, and they sent Fuzzy Bear in to stop the price appreciation of silver. They physically sent Fuzzy Bear in, and he said no more buying silver. I should have said that on the debate. And I'm serious, guys. If you guys can find me somebody that's willing to like debate me on XRP, we need that. I think that the debates were a big benefit this week because the Node Network got to look like a bunch of hobnobs, and they got to be exposed for how much they didn't know. And even though I like those guys as people, we need to expose XRP FUD for what it is, which is fucking cheap, chintzy, fake news, small time. Guys like Lionel, guys that know absolutely nothing, but they mean well. They just want to have fun, and they want to know something. They don't. Big Parks 10. A lot of people are speculating that silver will reach 100+. Yeah, it's not even speculation. It's going to happen. I have over 350 ounces, so I'm excited, but it's to protect my mom and brothers. Nice, man. You sound like a chosen one. So I hope you hold XRP too. XRP will be a more parabolic move than silver, which is why I don't hold any physical silver yet. Because like, let's say right now you buy silver and the physical asset is extremely important. Let's say, I was to buy 100 ounces of silver right now at, what's it at right now? $64.82. Let's say I was to buy 100 ounces at $64.82. So that would be like, damn it, 64 grand times 100, $6,400. So if I bought 100 ounces at 6,400, and then let's say it went to $300, that would gain me $24,000, and that's great. But if I held the same amount of money in XRP, and based on all of my thousands of hours of research, if I were to hold 6,400 XRP, and in the next 6 months, I know it's going to $1,000, and everyone else that doesn't know why can just watch more of my videos. I've never said one thing with any doubt. That's $6.4 million. So physical silver is still a very important thing to hold. It is still a very important asset. It is still a great play, but it is not the play. And so I hope that you at least as well hold XRP, because if your physical silver is just as important and you have a great portfolio and you are ready to rock and roll in the new system, and they might reprice silver too. They might reprice silver to $1,200. So it might be an even better play than you thought. But at least hold some XRP. Ron Horn, I found a couple hundred more COVID cards in my first aid box. Nice, bro. So if you guys don't know Ron Horn on Discord, his nickname is I hold more vaccine cards than you. I have no idea how they got there. Dude, I wouldn't be shocked if you found them in like your couch cushions, man. You got more vaccine cards than anyone. Lionel just posted, is that the Israeli flag? Prof Hedgehog. So Chris, just watch the bond market and precious metals market. Heavily managed, especially with the yen intervention to save our stock market. Most of the world's superpowers are trading in yen. Yep. Man, you get it. Dude, you get it. So essentially the dollar is dead. Yeah. They are going to let the petrodollar die. Capital Man 1. Hey, Chris, thanks for all you do, brother. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I am always like appalled how nice you guys are to me. Because look at it this way. My entire life, I've been considered weird. My entire life, I spent 7 years in depression because I went so deep down. That's why I was telling you guys in that last video I made, that last live I made. I had to sacrifice a lot in order to bring you guys that information. That's why it's a gift to you guys, because that notebook I have that triggers memories I have in here, it cost me something to achieve that for you. I had to go through 6 to 7 years of mental depression, trying to get my head to wrap around the fact that the world is not what they told us, trying to wrap my head around all this dark, deep stuff that's going to come down the line that I'm going to have to deal with and battle and fight with my wife and children. So yeah, it didn't come free. It was I paid a price. Like I had to survive depression. I had to live through that. I had to live through understanding and knowing everything that's going to happen, the timeline, the playbook. And so by the time I found XRP and crypto, it was easy. XRP and crypto is a fucking cakewalk, guys. All you have to do is go to any exchange, click buy XRP and hold, and you win. I had to go through quite a bit to become who I am. And I'm not saying that I'm complaining. I wouldn't want to be anyone else. I'm glad I went through that because I'd hate to not know. I'm red pilled as fuck. I'm as red pilled as it gets. I am on the red lists. So when they come for your guns, when they come for your physical gold and silver, when they come for your families, when they come and to try to take your freedom, I will be the first one they go after. I'm on the red list. Steve Quill talks about it. I'm okay with that. So I'm okay being forward facing here on YouTube. I wanted as many people to catch this wealth transfer as possible, and that is my gift to the community. Professor God trading in yuan. I mean, not yen. Oh, okay. So Chinese yuan. Jay Coben, yeah. Post the link. See if someone comes on. Post the link. See if someone comes on. I know I've been talking about posting links. Jay Coben, can you elaborate? Because we've talked about so many posting links now. I'm confused. Sorry. Mystic Mage, 111. Crypto Phoenix talks about a different kind of haircut. LOL. I just found him. Is he a real person or AI? No, he's real. He's as real as they come. Crypto Phoenix. And on his last video that we watched on my live, he actually like pauses the video, wanders away in the room, and like fucks with his air conditioner and comes back and says, "Sorry, I had to change the air conditioner." He's real. He just, a lot of YouTuber crypto people, they're very private. They don't post their face. And so like he just shows his work and then he talks over it. But yeah, he's real. Moneymaker XRP, I'd have to say real, not AI mystic. Perfect Hedgehog, Jake Claver ripped his domino theory off the Ellis theory, Ricker's books, and Verson's earliest theories. He didn't create it himself. But you know, I'll say this. You could say I ripped off everything I know from other people. It's a collective conclusion of other people's theories and the ability to take all those theories, like me, taking all the conspiracy theories I've ever heard, and collectively come and meet XRP and understand, oh shit, this is way bigger than people think. They are going to combine and time this shit. And this is likely going to happen. And so even though Jake Claver doesn't come out and say it's pre-planned, yeah, I mean, I had to learn XRP and crypto from all the other channels and communities. So you could say, like, you know, in theory, like I ripped everything I know off of all the other channels. It's still the conclusion and the ability and willingness and the courage to share it of what made Jake Claver so powerful. So even if he's wrong and it doesn't play out perfectly like that, I'm still rooting for him. And I saw somebody on a Discord post today or yesterday that like maybe Jake Claver is, you know, like a CIA implant to like get people to get institutional custody. And, you know, that's a very scary thought. As a conspiracy theorist, I always have to entertain it, but I don't think so. If he was, he'd go down as the best liar I've ever seen. Lionel, banks don't want XRP. Banks have other plans. Okay, buddy. So 1692 is the flat truth. Nice. DNFLYA. That is a very fun name to say. Every time I say that, it's very fun. I need all this to happen at least in the next 10 years. Oh, buddy. You will not be waiting 10 years. In 10 years, you'll be fucked in 1,000 different other ways, but you will be very wealthy. I've been holding patiently for over 5 years, averaging 75 cents per. Fuck you very much for being able to stack for so cheap. I love you. your family. But thank you very much. You were crushing it. Don't worry about it. You don't need any hopium. It's happening. Jay Coben, oh, you a flat earth? That's the craziest one to me. Well, think about it, Jay Coben. What advantage do they gain by the world being round and having galaxies and galaxies and universes and space travel? The ability to create a larger illusion that God and the Bible is not real. That's what they gain. And so it's not so much even that, I want to be a flat earther. It's that they have lied about too much of everything else. They've lied about weirder shit. Let me put it that way. If you've done as many deep dives as I have, if you've been a conspiracy theorist as long as I have, you'd know that the least unbelievable thing is the flat earth theory. Mystic Mage, okay, thanks, MM. Moneymaker, XRP, Lionel. So why are the biggest banks in? Can I just give kudos to Moneymaker XRP again, just for being always ready to box? I feel like Moneymaker must walk around with digital boxing gloves because he is always ready to box the next person that says anything that against XRP. I'm not even that. I'll let some people slide. Moneymaker won't. Moneymaker is fucking on it. Conscious Minds, watch the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake. Okay, let's see here. In Time. Justin Timberlake ended up being a great actor. Oh, it's the first movie I've seen of him with like a gun. Interesting. I'll try to watch that sometime. Moneymaker Mystic, because of the accent he has, I'd say it has to be real. AI can't read well, but no problem. Yeah, there's been several channels that I thought were AI, and then they screwed up when they were talking for like a couple sentences, and then they like laughed at themselves. I was like, oh, that's a real person. Like Common Sense Crypto. I thought he was AI for a long time because he talks so smooth and fluid. But then one time he like fucked up and laughed at himself, and I was like, oh shit, that's his voice. I love his voice. They hate the great. Moneymaker XRP, easy. I'd love to come on sometime. I also would love your help setting up my own channel. Thought just constant FUD killers of NodeNet and blast shorts that make their answers look as clownish as they are. Yeah, the Node network is extremely good at being annoying about XRP and wrong. And if you want to make your own channel, just do it. And I'd be honored to have you on, man. It is not hard to have and hold a YouTube channel. It's been one of the easiest things I've ever done. One of the funnest things I've ever done. The only thing you have to get over is you're literally a lot of times in a random room talking to your phone for like an hour. That's takes some time getting used to. I'm used to it now. And I find it's a little bit easier, and this may sound weird, it's a little bit easier to have your phone, not the back camera, but the front-facing camera towards you, so you can see yourself talking. It makes you feel a little less alone and a little less weird somehow. So make your channel, man. You've got a lot to say, and it's worth saying. But dude, anytime you want to come on. And are you in the Discord server? I think I forgot to ask whether you're in the Discord server. Brian PA is in the house in the Discord server. If you're not in the Discord server, because I think being in the Discord server makes it easier to like message me, because anyone in the Discord server can reach me. And I think that's what I love about the Discord server, because I haven't found another way. Because like even on X, I was scrolling through my followers on X, and I was like, 80% of these followers are bots. X is the most fake shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But I would be honored to have you, Moneymaker, because you are a fucking ninja. Capital Man 1, Chris, what's your take on where XRP will be next year, 2027? $1,000 to 5,000, 1,000 to 5,000. Now, if Crypto Phoenix is right, and Versan has also mentioned that the IMF has talked about and discussed a price, and it's in the thousands. We could see $10,000 to $100,000 next year, but just to be conservative, 1,000 to 5,000, 2027, very, very casually. In the most casual sense, $1,000. Big Parks 10, please elaborate more on the solid state battery. So the solid state battery, Samsung designed a way to make these lithium ion batteries, and there's something to do with nodes, which is ironic because of the node network. There's something to do with nodes and some sort of word like that, in which lithium ion batteries that do not have as much silver wrapped around them, they create like internally, they build like these nodes, and that takes away from the battery strength, it takes away from the charge, it takes away from the range, and they're not able to compact as much energy in there. And so as the research I was doing, the solid state battery is wrapped with like 3 or 4 times as much silver around the outside. And they did something else, of course, too technical, but that was what gave them the ability to create a lithium ion battery that has twice the range. And they call it a solid state battery, probably because it's in a solid state as opposed to the nodes growing. So it has twice the range. It doesn't suffer from battery degradation like the lithium ion we have now. And it doesn't burn or explode like the Teslas that have exploded. And so it's a very, very high-tech thing that they have already come out with. And they are in the late stages of mass producing it for cars. So yeah, the value of silver is going to go through the roof. And I was also going to say, I almost said, I was going to say, we produce in the world 12 million ounces a year. Don't quote me on that. Let's see here, actually, because I want to see. How much silver does the world mine per year? Okay. So the world mines roughly 25,000 metric tons of silver a year. And we are going to need more than that. So the reason that the COMEX has been suffering in their silver supply is because people started taking orders. So they would trade derivatives for years and then just like issue more derivatives and sell more contracts. Well, when that started to fail because people were starting to take delivery on their silver, London is already almost out of silver. COMEX is next. So it's going to be the same thing as XRP. When they run out of silver, how much is silver going to be worth? I mean, we're talking like 3 to 6 months ago, Samsung was telling their people, like, I don't care how much you pay for silver, just get us fucking silver. And they were buying silver for 3 years out with these futures contracts. So, I mean, it's very real stuff, silver. Lionel, I wonder who started this XRP going to the moon? The New World Order elites, the most powerful people in the world's trillionaires, the fallen angels, Satan. Do you want more, Lionel? Big Park 10. I was talking to an older gentleman about it, and he was putting me on game. That's funny. Older gentlemen sometimes can be annoying like that, but most older gentlemen I run into are really cool. My average XRP purchase dropped to $1.01. Fuck you very much. Mine's still higher than that. Madav, I saw Versan laugh when the Jake Claver versus Zach Rector happened in live, and someone said those two should just do M&A. Yeah, so that was probably 1 of 6 times Versan laughed last year. That's awesome. Liminal lands, COMEX rule 589. I know. And Japan has its own 589 rule. Unreal, guys. Prof Hedgehog, don't forget about the fires in the server rooms and circuit breakers that only go off, going up but never going off down in silver. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Like they said that they were overheating when silver was about to be repriced. Bullshit. 589 is one hell of a rabbit hole. Yeah, it's its own rabbit hole. COMEX Rule 589 is titled Special Price Fluctuation Limits. Wonder why? It is a CME group, New York MEX and Chicago MEX rule in Chapter 5 of the rulebook that sets price fluctuation, circuit breaker style, limits on certain futures and options contracts. I wonder why they called it 589. I wonder what they were anticipating when they called it Rule 589. Prof Hedgehog, the amount of gold above ground that's ever been mined in the history of the world is 95%, where only 24% for silver. Historical ratio is average 1 to 16. Silver now has insane industrial demand. Yeah, very well said, man. Mystic Mage, Versan smiles when he interviews Jim Woolley, an OG math head who goes on rants while Versan smiles. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll try to watch some of that sometime. I'd love to see Versan smile more. I know he's a happy guy. He's a very successful guy. He's very happy. He just doesn't like show it in his face. It's kind of a hilarious conundrum. Southern Charm is Uphold a legit place to have XRP, silver, gold, etc. What's the best place? I will say this. Southern Charm. I don't know if you follow the Riddlers. For some reason, I think it was Baba Cugs talked, and he's a Riddler, XRP Riddler. He talked about Uphold going under. Now, the Riddlers are people that we've had to take with a grain of salt, but they've been true and correct a lot of times in the last 10 years. So even though Uphold is legit now, and Uphold was also like supporting XRP Army, I don't know what to say about them. They have been struggling to produce some aspects of Digital Ascension Group's partnerships with themselves. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know enough to tell you like Uphold's good or not, but I do know that they were there upholding XRP Army when the SEC lawsuit was there, and most other exchanges delisted them. That doesn't mean they survive through the end. But I mean, I would call Uphold and ask them like, hey, are you guys bankruptcy remote? Like, if you guys go under, do you guys have to reissue these assets to your clients? Like, is that the last? Because like when I called iTrust Capital and asked them about that for my parents, I was like, hey, what happens if you guys like go under? And they were like, well, we're bankruptcy remote. So like, you know, we have to get the assets out to the clients. That's our last order of business before filing for bankruptcy. So yeah, have that conversation. And then maybe talk to a financial advisor or stuff like that, you know, like just talk to people that are in that space. But that's the only thing I know about Uphold. It could go under because a Riddler said something bad about it. And I know that sounds insane, but that's all I know about it. I apologize. There's a lot of other places to hold as well. Merle, I know a guy that are always lucky and never lose. He holds 100,000 XRP, 100,000 XLM, and 100 pounds of silver. When he talks, I listen. I'd listen to him too. Sounds like he knows what the fuck the world's on about. Jay Coben, do you think the real estate market will crash when the dollar goes down? Yes. We bought a house 16 months ago, and the value of this house is going to drop 30+%. Big Parks 10, your thoughts on the group BRICS, or I think it's BRICS. It's BRICS because it's, who are the BRICS nations? I'm sorry, guys. It's so much to keep up on. BRICS nations, intergovernmental organization of emerging economies designed to counter Western-led global governance. Why isn't the first? Oh, there it is. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Indonesia. So it looks like they could expand the name now to BRICS would be what they'd have to change it to include all the countries involved. Which I think China, Europe, Japanese, and Russia are a part, whom are forging their own currency. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I just read the countries. You're right. There's a few extras that got tacked on the last couple of years. My thoughts are that they are trying to basically do what XRP is going to do instead. And they're still, so the BRICS nations are setting up different hubs, physical hubs, every 100 miles or so through their nations. And those hubs are like their own little Fort Knox. So they were creating like basically localized physical Nostra Vostra accounts, of which they would transfer, you know, their transactions to, rather than having to run through the petrodollar. So they will let the petrodollar die at some point in time, but XRP is going to be the digital ledger of which they transact the BRICS nations across. It's all connected. Capital Man 1, hi Chris, you and I share the same perception of the real vision. We see, we know. Yeah, and it's a tough life. Hard to even discuss with people when they can't even bear the thought of the reality of how things are. Yeah, man, I tell you, that is like one of the most true things I've ever read. Like, very well said. A lot, like I've said, a lot of people like would love to like have my notes in my notebook, even though they're like, you know, not what you think they are. They'd love to have the information that's in here for all the stuff that is beneficial. But for the 90+% of stuff that's like negative and dangerous and dark and scary and weird. Most people would not want to know that. And so what people see, like when I went on to debate the Node network, they saw the tip of the iceberg for the stuff that I know. And I was only trying to aim stuff at them and hurl stuff at them that was related and relative to XRP so that they could get it. But if I was really starting to hurl weird, outlandish shit to them, it would take them out. So yeah, it's a burden to bear, but I'm honored to bear it. Scott Ellis, Brazil, Russian, Indian, China, South Africa. I think there's 11 total. Yeah. Andy Crazy GameStop. Based on this economy collapse, it appears XRP will be the safe haven. After price appreciation, then buy silver and gold and wait for XRP parabolic move. Ignore stocks and real estate. Yes. Stocks and real estate, not financial advice. I think they're all going to crash at the same time in a very similar fashion, and I would not be participating in any of them. And XRP is going to go parabolic, and I think a really good play, just based on how things are going to play out, will be to borrow against your XRP after price appreciation and invest into things like Amazon, Tesla, silver, gold, kind of like the sure deals. Spooky G's, nah, Chris, don't worry. They won't come after you. We are such small fish that it won't even matter to them. A guy from Washington told 1,000 people about XRP and their plans. I hope so, Spooky. Thanks for the hopium there for me, that they're not going to come after me. Post a link of this live stream here. See if someone comes on. Link of this live stream. Oh, you mean like post a link to join the live stream? I don't see how to do that. Sorry, Jacob, and I was trying to figure out what you meant by that. God, I love you guys so much. The reason I just said I love you guys so much is because when I rewatched my live debate, I was reading Jay Coben's comments, and I had not really interacted with him much before. But the things he was saying meant so much to me, and I was just like, man, this guy gets it, and he's got my back. Like, it was like family. And so I think that this group is becoming family. And so I appreciate you, Jay Coben, and everyone else. When I see some of your names pop up, it just gives me like a dopamine hit, love and joy. Just like, you guys are fucking awesome. Let's see here. So I think it's easier to do a live with somebody before you go live. Because like I said, I'm not very good at YouTube, which is one of my downfalls. I can create a highlight video. Add Stream Maker. Give me a second here. Marker. That was not. So edit. Let's wait to edit it. Customization, live chat. Anyone subscribers looking for live. I think I'd have to do it before we start the live. Looking here in the edit. I think I'd have to do it before we go live. I'll try that sometime. Spooky G's, their plan is worth much more than going after one guy who told 1,000 people. Trust me, you're good. Even the guy who created an engine that worked on water, they gave him a warning. He didn't stop. He should have stopped. He should have stopped. Family first. Sirac 40, this is me. You do have a crown, Sirac. A crown for having the fattest sack. And 5D printed machine guns. Andy Crazy GameStop, Marin tweet of the sine wave cycle shows everything going down and collapse. Bitcoin, all crypto, SP 500. XRP is the only one going up. And I think he said gold and silver too. I mean, he says gold, but gold's usually tied to silver. I think gold's going up as well. While everything else crashes. Yeah. Isn't Marin a fucking genius? I don't care what anyone says. Marin's a fucking genius. I've been following him for like 3 months now, having private conversations with him on X. He's a fucking genius. Merle, I tried to get him on the show, but he's not like in a mental headspace for it right now. Merle, NASA has the ability to steal trillions of taxpayer money. That's their intent. Yep. And have you guys heard the theory about how NASA, it's like, sounds like Nasha, which is like Hebrew for something else that's like bad? I mean, it's all connected. Spooky G's, Andy Crazy GameStop, everything down, XRP up. How can this be? Yeah, like the Riddlers. Crypto Canucks in the house, guys. Check out Planet Mind Control movie. Sounds like my kind of movie. Planet Mind Control movie. You can watch the independent documentary by Jason Christoph for free on the official Planet Mind Control website by entering your email address. Sounds like maybe it's on YouTube. Sounds like my kind of video though. Let me turn this light on here. Okay. My face was just getting a little bit Sith looking. Let's see if I can get some. I don't have like very good lamps over here. That's why. So I apologize. I'm going to get like a better system soon. I just didn't want to spend more than 27 XRP on a webcam and mic. So that's why I am in the dark. Eddie the Great. Trump said the USA will own the Strait of Hormuz. We could. Spooky of exactly. Crypto Connect. Are you from Vancouver, bro? Because I live near it. Sunshine Coast, BC. Chris, are you on Instagram? I am, but I can't share my Instagram because I don't have like a crypto related Instagram. And it's not because I don't want any of you guys to see like my personal stuff. What it really comes down to is it's like eventually there will be AI fishers and scam bots looking for people that hold XRP. And they will be like looking for people specifically like myself. And so I'm trying to be like as net neutral on YouTube as possible while still showing my face. So that's the only, I mean, like all of my OGs are going to have like my phone number and shit. They're going to come to my house like after price appreciation. It's just that like right now I have to play it as safe as I can while still being able to show my face for XRP Army. That's the only reason. Spooky D's, Chris, when do you think XRP will start to take its move? An estimate of timeline events? I got to check. I want to throw in before that happens. So let me put it this way. I'll say this because I know that people watching this live have probably seen like my attempt to decode the Riddlers, and I still feel like I came close within a month or so. But like I've told you, me trying to guess dates now, it's like being at the end of a game of Minesweeper. There's only like a few squares left you can check, and you'll be right. So it's not like I'm, some sort of extreme smart decoder. It's just that like I follow White Wizard. I follow Marin Decodes, and both of them say very, 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 very fucking soon. And we have a reverse carry trade on the cliff for Japan. And remember, before October, not during, before October, they have to have the new system powered on of liquidity so that they can settle the back-end transactions of the DTCC. And I've heard 1,000 times that the DTCC was always the target of Ripple first and not Swift. So they'll, I think, annihilate Swift just by happenstance, but it's not really their goal. And so Ripple and XRP will take over the entire world exactly how they want to and when they want to, but it is all happening very, very soon. And then if you want to add on top of that, you have the Riddlers, who I've always said that by the end of year 2018, which is Ethiopian calendar for 2026, let's see. What date is it in Ethiopian calendar? So end of 2018, we are, it's always so hard for me to find this. We're in Nehayes 10. Basically, the end of 2018 on the Ethiopian calendar is September 11th, which is also a 9/11 date. And if you do deep dives on Riddlers, do deep dives on conspiracy, do deep dives on elites, 9/11 is a very serious date. So before 9/11, you see a $589 plus XRP, and it also says 0.589 because it's the 589 on the Fibonacci, and Marin Decodes has decoded that's at end of year is dual meaning, end of year, also end of y-axis. Number go up. So TNFLYA, F you very much. That's not nice, man. I love you guys. I just like to give you guys shit when you guys, I know you guys have more XRP than me, and you got to stack at like these under dollar prices of like 30 and 50 cents. So it's all in fun. Moneymaker. I don't know, but I'm buying a ton more after I already bought a ton. Nice. Jojo just withdrew my FXRP from Zaman Flare Protocol. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah. And what it comes down to is it's like the yield you could gain now is so low that the risk is infinitely higher than the yield you'd gain. So like, let's say you had 100,000 XRP right now, just for the sake of a number, and you were gaining like 4% yield off of that. So over the period of a year, you gain $4,000 or something like that over the period of a year. But let's say like that yield product had something happen to like that guy's comment I read about Jake Claver's digital ascension group, where like, you know, it lost a good percentage of XRP. That is infinitely more damaging to you right now than just having had waited with your XRP and storage and waiting for it. And even Comments on Crypto has brought this up. He's like, I don't think it's a good idea to have your Flare wrapped right now, or your XRP wrapped right now, because of how volatile it is. It's just a very scary place to be. And they are going to do something really weird in the world to make the financial reset happen at some point in time in the next year. So that's what I've always told my channel. Just be patient. Wait for like these institutions to come out with like really obvious and easy yield products, and then test it out. But I would still just test it out with like 10% of my XRP. I wouldn't like put the whole amount just in there and try to gain yield off the whole bag immediately. Like, you know, play it as safe as you can. This is a once in a lifetime wealth transfer, and you don't want to lose it because you're trying to gain 5%. You know, and that's what I mean. $1 is an absolute gift. Yeah, it totally is. Spooky G's. I got no money to buy, waiting for my next paycheck. We all are. I think the front lines of XRP Army pretty much have $9 in the bank at any given time, or $589, and the rest in XRP. Victor Harpo 589 to sheep can't work. Nice. Do you have any advice, not financial advice, of course, on how we can set ourselves up to be protected when we become XRP millionaires? I heard Jake Claver talk about setting up an LLC in Wyoming, etc. And I'll say this, Kevin, like, obviously not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor, but like, I have an LLC for my business, and it is a lot of work. Like, I know that Jake Claver has the best intentions and he wants people to have an LLC, and there's a lot of good reasons for the LLC. I am pro LLC for crypto, but I will say this. He does recommend it for people that have currently 50 to 80,000 XRP. Because when you get to that kind of wealth, that's when you want to have the LLC. Now, you can set up an LLC post price appreciation, and that's what I'm looking to do. But I'm also still 50-50 on the fence as to whether I even want to set up an LLC, because I know how annoying it is. Like, Jake Claver talks a lot about how, oh, there's a lot of tax write-offs you can unlock. I've unlocked all the tax write-offs from an LLC in my own personal business. It's a pain in the ass to track all that shit. So it's like, what it comes down to is, it's like, in the end, do you intend to be borrowing against your XRP and getting yield? Or do you intend to be selling some regularly? And in that case, you'd want to have an LLC, because then you could maybe buy like a 6,000 pound vehicle to get an extra tax write-off. So it's really about how you're going to play it. If you're just really going to play it in a very simple fashion, I think it could be a little bit too much. The number one thing that attracts me to the LLC in Wyoming is that the way Digital Ascension Group does it is they do it through their own business name, and that gives you anonymity, like 100%. And so creditors can't come up to you. They have creditor protection. So there's a lot of benefits, but there's also a lot to be said for, like, is it worth it? So when you become an XRP millionaire, just understand it'd be like the same as, let me put it this way. If somebody right now, however much XRP you have, it'd be like, let's say you have 10,000 XRP. It'd be like if somebody would walk up and be like, here, I'm going to gift you 10,000 ounces of gold. What would you do with it? You'd probably figure out different ways to store it. You'd probably figure out different ways to park it. But you'd probably just store it and then wait to like sell it some occasionally or borrow against it. You wouldn't be like trying to create all these strats. So I think Jake Claver is like maxed out on strategy. And that's good. That's a good thing to know that there's somebody there for us that is doing that. That's why I'm a member of the Beyond Broke Mastermind. I haven't like logged in yet for post price appreciation. But all those conversations will be had. So there's a lot to consider there when you talk about that. Moneymaker XRP. Do you know how to trade? You can trade in dollars or in XRP. You gain more of whichever asset you use. What role is Ripple's banking charter going to play in all this? The only thing that the banking charter is going to do is give them more of like clout with the other institutions and countries. these other institutions are going to be like, oh, this is not just a crypto institution. This is a fucking institution. So when they say I can use XRP, they mean it. It's going to give them clout. And it might be a little bit of an in to replace the Fed. So we'll see how that plays out. But it's definitely more foundational than it is like strategic. Moneymaker. Caleb and Brown and Jake Steele are both safe places to have institutional grade custody. Yeah, I think so. And I Trust Capital, that, yeah. Caleb and Brown and I Trust are free. Yeah. And they all do great jobs. The only reason I've ever told people that I believe you should hold at least half or a good amount of your crypto or XRP in cold storage is because I think that there's a reason, and it just got me thinking. When I was hearing that the Clarity Act was trying to prevent people from storing their own crypto, it made me think, why do they want to keep us from self-custody? And you got to think like that. When you're a conspiracy theorist and you've seen it all and you've heard it all, and you've heard that they lied to you about everything. They lied to you about the shape of the earth. They lied to you about the moon. They lied to you about 9/11. They lied to you about Iraq. They lied to you about why we went to Afghanistan. We went to Afghanistan so we could go in there, try to take the technology because they found the location for the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel had stargates. They were trying to take the technology because they found Nimrod there, and Nimrod was a giant. He was a Nephilim. In the Bible, it says he became a great warrior. He actually became a Nephilim. He became 12 feet tall. His guards are 12 feet tall. So they had all this technology, and when you start just like channeling this shit, and you're like, oh, why don't they want us to hold cold storage custody? That makes me suspicious. So I would trust half of my XRP with institutional custody, but half you for sure want to keep for yourself in cold storage. And it's all risky stuff. I mean, look at it. The reason that crypto is so risky is because we're still in the wild, wild west and the wild frontier of like what this new asset class is. This is a financial weapon that they intend to use against us in the future. And for right now, we're ahead of that. And so because this has never been done before, because nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about for the next 10 years, because there's like all speculation. Like the only thing that's speculation is how this is going to play out. I know that they intend to use XRP as a new financial system. It's just how is that going to play out? What events are going to happen? Are they going to release motherships over New York to create this wealth transfer and have people to be distracted? What lengths are they willing to go to in order to get this done is my question. So sorry if that was long-winded, but like, I mean, you got to think about these things. Spooky G's Moneymaker. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. It's all just soup and potatoes. Of course it is, Spooky. Of course it's just soup and potatoes for you, man. Moneymaker, you're going to be my first guest on my show. I'm going to try to teach the masses trading and TA in a safe way. That's awesome, man. It's easy once you wrap your head around basic concepts. No BS, hand on the Bible. I made $550K back in November 24, going long next to it. Damn, dude. You deserve the name Moneymaker XRP. So it probably makes you 550,000 times as mad that the Node network can't see it. Wow, dude, kudos to you. You sound chosen as fuck, dude. No wonder you're such a warrior. You're out there trying to save people, man. You're just like me. You're trying to save people. Spooky G's, let me know when the show is. Yeah, dude, hell yeah. We should all create and build the community that we want to have. The ideal community will require more people. Kevin, what's your opinion on people saying that the elite billionaires would not let all of us millions of nobodies get rich off of XRP with only investing a few $1,000s? I'll say this, Kevin. So I don't know if you caught my debate, but in the debate I did mention that they couldn't come out with this without it being public first. And the reason that they couldn't come out with this new World One reserve currency without it being a public ledger available to us was because, for one, they don't want you to know they exist. Very few of us actually know and believe that the New World Order elites and the trillionaires, so you said billionaires, they're trillionaires. They don't want us to know they exist. That's the most important thing. And then for two, they knew that if they just came out with the B system and the smart cities and the autopilot cars and told us that you're not going to be allowed to drive anymore, we're going to put you in autopilot cars and Tesla taxi cabs. We're going to put you in these smart cities that are 15-minute cities that you can only walk. You'll eat nothing. You'll own nothing. You'll buy nothing. And you'll be happy, and you'll eat lab-grown meat and all this stuff. Everyone that I know in the United States would rebel. And so we would create havoc if that happened. And so that the reason that they're okay, in a sense, with the few people that haven't been shaken out of XRP yet, like Mike from the network, the few people, and I believe it's closer to like 100,000 people that might hold XRP in retail. The rest of the people are already shaken out, and the rest of the people will get shaken out on the way up. When it hits $100 a coin, half of XRP army is gone. I'm sorry. They are not convicted enough. I've seen them in the comments. I've seen them hanging on barely with the hopium. They're gone at $100. And so when this asset goes to $1,000, when this asset goes to $10,000, when this asset goes to $100,000, there's a reason the riddlers say that grown men will cry for having missed this opportunity, because they had it, they held it, and it slipped through their fingers. And they're trying to provide for their family. They will cry. I've cried because I failed to provide for my family at periods of time, and I let things slip through my fingers. And as a man, it's the worst thing you can feel in the world. So grown men will cry. So that is why, even though they know we're at the tail end of this machine, they've done everything they can to shake us out, they still need to power it on more than they care about 50,000 XRP holders getting rich. I hope that answers your question. Eddie the Great, do you think these institutions like iTrust will ever take your XRP? Why this sense of urgency? The risk that I see in it is that, like Jake Claver said, Jake Claver was on Digital Ascension Group. He was on his YouTube live, and he was like, as long as you guys aren't doing anything illegal, or like guys aren't doing anything wrong or sketchy, like you shouldn't be worried about, the country trying to sanction you for your crypto. But my question to Jake is, well, what if they deem ridiculous fucking shit illegal? Like, what if they make it illegal not to take the jab? What if they make it illegal to be 100% in control of what you teach your kids? What if they make it illegal to not let your kid become transgender? What is the law going to say in 5 to 10 years from now as they get more and more control? So it has nothing to do with going out there and being a drug dealer or some sort of pirate or some sort of like evil, corrupt fucker. It has everything to do with who are they trying to target with this new system. So when Christians are out there, just like, what if it becomes illegal to become Christian? Have you guys ever thought of that? So when Jake Claver comes out and says, well, I don't know why you guys are so worried about like these sanctions and stuff like that, and I'm trying to take your crypto, I'm like, that's why. It will become illegal in the next 50 to 100 years to be a public Christian. And I know this because we're entering the end times. And I don't know what the end times are 50 to 100 years from now, but because I know that, I know that at some point in my life, it will be illegal for me to be a public Christian. And that will be the number one reason they come after us. And so when you start to say things like, should I trust iTrust? Should I trust Digital Ascension Group? Yeah, for now, until the government deems you an illegal person and they come after your crypto and sanction you for that. That is when having your XRP in cold storage and 10 different cold storages buried in your backyard will become the most valuable. That is when holding physical silver and gold, from when you are now an illegal person living in a country in which they hate you and you have to go to your own private property and hide and turn your cell phone off and get a Faraday cage and protect you and your family and do what's best, because God's law is more powerful than the world's law. So, man, I'm sorry. I just felt the Holy Spirit right there, guys. That was some deep, dark shit. If you guys want to know why you don't want to know what I know, that's why. I just felt it. I was just in the zone there. That I felt something. I felt the Spirit of the Lord right there. Speaking through me towards the end there. That was some serious shit. I don't think you expected that when you asked that question, but wow, guys, this is some real shit. So that's why when, you got the crypto bros and all these different crypto channels talking about the Clarity Act, talking about what about this? What about this? And just what about DeFi? What about, Canton? What about it's like none of that fucking matters. This leads to something far more dark and serious in the future. Jay Coben, LOL. Yeah, you speaking my language. Yeah, you speaking my language too, brother. Crypto Canuck. Institutional custody is a way for government to find out who holds XRP. Yes, you nailed it. Like as I was saying that stuff. Good to see. I'm not sure how to do the link. Seen it on some shows. Sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes not. And you know what, Jay Coben? I'll say this. It's probably a good idea, but I think maybe I have to have 1,000 subscribers. There are tons of things on my live that they've told me, like, you know, oh, you unlock this and this when you hit 1,000 subscribers. So we're almost there. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, maybe we'll be able to do some other cool shit like that. But I know I can add people to my live before I go live. There's also the Discord server we have, Jay Coben. I hope you're in there, because in the Discord server we can all go live with each other, and there's like 10 of us in there sometimes, and we have different video. We can turn on video or not, if you don't want people to see your mug. Moneymaker XRP, Eddie, case by case basis. Those I named, I believe to be safe. iTrust is an IRA. iTrust has IRAs. They're not an IRA, but they have IRAs. Laws would have to be changed for that to happen. Too much outrage and pushback, blood in the streets if that happens. Yeah, 1,000%. I had my dad put some in an IRA and I trust. Spooky G's, Moneymaker at Chris. Should I get a loan from Coinbase and buy XRP? Let me put it this way, Spooky. If you have the biggest balls of any man I've ever seen in my entire life, yes. If you want to risk it all, yes. And if you end up becoming a trillionaire because you did that, yes. But no, please don't do that. Moneymaker XRP, I'm trying to get a $500,000 business bank loan to buy as much as I can. I'm all in, amigo. Dude, okay. I'll just say this. I thought Moneymaker XRP was just some sort of like uncaped ninja that was attacking the node network for us, and he's like a dual agent. Apparently, he's a future trillionaire. So I apologize. I underestimated you. I thought you were just like an amazing ninja, and you were apparently Batman. Sweet HTX. The only one I'm concerned with is when I can buy XRP at $1. Nice, dude. Either way, I'll be deep into 6 figures. That's crazy, bro. I'm considering, but I ain't got that type of resources to afford a loan that high. Spooky is a mid-class guy. Nice, dude. Most of us are middle-class people. Except for a Moneymaker XRP, who now his name makes more sense. Trying to do more than just buy a Lambo or take care of my fam. Can I just say this, Moneymaker XRP? I'm going to say this because I love you so much. And you're such a fucking warrior. You're such a fucking legend. You made 10 times as much as veteran Mike on the Node Network. And you're out here doing your due diligence, trying to warn him, hey, look, it's XRP. Everything else is fucked. And he won't listen to you. I can't imagine how frustrating that is for you, because you not only have you outperformed him, because I asked him on the debate or on the crypto conspiracy channel that they have. I forget where it was I asked him. But I said, what was like the best crypto performance for you? And Mike laughed and he said it was actually like XRP. He's like, I bought it at like 20 or 30 cents and it went to like $3 or something like that. And he's like, I sold at like $2. And he's like, that was my best play. I'm like, Moneymaker just blew out of the water with one long. And he is trying to warn you. XRP is the one. And he still won't listen. So, like, kudos to you, Moneymaker. Dude, you're a fucking warrior. Not all heroes wear capes. And I think you should start wearing a cape because you're a fucking legend. I'm trying to do more than just buy a Lambo or take care of my fam. I want to use this as a way to honor God, partner with like-minded people, and help those around me that really need it. See, and I think if you talked more like that on the Node network, I don't think that it would like change their mind, but I think they might be a little bit mind blown as to who you are. Because like you are always switched on, ready with your gloves off, and I love that about you. I don't think that they know. So I didn't know some of the stuff about you. That's why I think you need to make your own channel, dude. Not because I don't want you like just I want you to be as much a part of my channel as you want to be, but I think that people would love to hear what you have to say, and people would vibe with it. Jay Coben down to 0.985 and all the way up to 589. Epic, yeah. It's all a simulation, man. It's all a pre-planned psyop simulation. It's hilarious. 4K is not enough for the risk. I don't remember what you're referencing there, Sirac, but that's a funny comment. Moneymaker, God willing. Sweat HTX, the only institutions I'll park XRP with are either ones Ripple approves or GSIBs. I don't even know what a GSIB is. You guys might need to explain to me what a GSIB is. Moneymaker and 100%. Alex, let's go. Yeah, Alex, good to see you. Jacobin, bro, you catch that with 500,000 and you will win it all. I know. We've got a future trillionaire here. And Sirac has a fat fucking sack too, guys. I think we've got several future trillionaires just hanging out in our channel, and I have like 907 subscribers. That's what I'm telling you. XRPZ army is built different. I'm sorry, guys. We're built different. We're front lines. Moneymaker, has anyone checked out XRP Lab? Oh, I subscribed to him so I could watch some of his videos. I haven't watched a video of him yet. I apologize. I was too busy watching Cat Williams, I guess. Okay, XRP Lab. Yeah, I subscribed to him. XRP holder reacts to the U.S. government. Shouldn't buy XRP, and neither should you. Let's watch a bit of that so I can have some sort of a gauge as to what that is. Where did it go? XRP Lab. Okay, let's stream that. XRP Lab. Because if Moneymaker says we should watch it, we should watch it. Okay, let's see here. Play. I wanted to play this one because it's actually like a tolerable length.
Huh?
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to a video by a creator who is not mincing any words. He outright calls XRP a scam. The video is called "The US Government Shouldn't Buy XRP and Neither Should You" by Rajat Soni, CFA. CFA stands for Chartered Financial Analyst.
Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO at Ripple, and he recently posted something about Bitcoin maximalism. So he said some thoughts on maximalism. Let me say this as clearly as I can. The crypto industry has a real shot here and now to achieve the many goals we have in common if we work together instead of tearing each other down. This is not and never will be a zero-sum game. What Brad is saying here is that the US government should buy XRP as part of its strategic crypto reserve, and I don't agree at all. I don't think that this is something that the US government should do. I think that XRP is a massive scam, and I think that the US government should avoid it as much as possible. One of the reasons why I think that XRP is a scam is because of this right here. We can see here, ledger 32,570. This is from an XRP scan website. It basically keeps a ledger of XRP, and I guess you can look at the ledger whenever you want to. So we can see here, ledger number 32,570. Due to a mishap early in XRP's ledger's history, ledgers number 1 through 32,569 were lost.
While uncomfortable, this isn't a hidden scam he just discovered. It was made public by the developers, and you can find it on the XRPL's Foundation's website. What happened was that back in December 2012, a server bug erased the headers of the ledgers for about 10 days or so. The XRP token went public something like March 2013. Since the XRPL was designed to overcome such failures, by recording the balances in every ledger version, the earliest verifiable snapshot from January 1st, 2013 became the genesis. What is important to remember about this is that no balance appeared or disappeared. No XRP appeared or disappeared. It was a software accident. Accidents do happen. Accidents happened even to Bitcoin. At some point, the Bitcoin network generated some 184 billion BTC. Did anyone call Bitcoin a scam because of that? No. In 2017 or 18, the Bitcoin network allowed miners to create brand new Bitcoins, completely bypassing the 21 million limit. Did anyone call Bitcoin a scam because of that? No. At some other point, the Bitcoin network split into two separate blockchains, and successful double spend attacks did happen. Did anyone call Bitcoin a scam because of that? No. Technical glitches don't make something a scam.
here is they lost XRP's ledger history, and now they want you to just trust them and buy a coin that they basically created out of nothing.
When whoever created Bitcoin wrote the code, they typed in their 21 million tokens out of nothing. Because that's how ledgers, distributed or not, digital or on paper, work. You type in or pen in some numbers called units of account to record who has how much of whatever. The innovation of blockchain is that instead of recording everything in the national unit of account, dollars or whatever, recording is done in proprietary units of account, like Bitcoin or XRP. If things of value are represented on the balance sheet, that is the blockchain, the units of account become valuable. If not, the units of account will just fade away, which makes those units of account become commodities and have some of the characteristics money has today. But it doesn't make the unit of account money. Let's be clear about that.
And pay them with your hard-earned dollars for that coin. We know for a fact that Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO at Ripple, received a lot of XRP for free. We know that Ripple received a lot of XRP for free. So in this case, almost 50% of the XRP supply is held by Ripple. And this guy is the CEO of Ripple. So of course, he's going to tell you that you should buy whatever they have to sell.
Brad Garlinghouse did not receive XRP for free. He received XRP as part of a compensation package for labor. This is the cleanest incentive to make XRP succeed as a bridge asset.
This is how they make money. They make money by selling XRP to people who don't quite understand what the problems with XRP.
He sounds a lot like me. I like that guy. And the funny thing is of course the guy making the video against XRP is this little fucking bald beta cuck with a beard and fucking glasses. He's like, yeah, these guys don't see the problem with XRP because Brad Garlinghouse holds XRP. And they gave Brad Garlinghouse 50 billion XRP. It's like, Brad Garlinghouse has 500 million XRP and he got that as a compensation and he holds that. Duh. Because he's the fucking CEO of Ripple and they know the plan. And so his compensation package from the New World Order elites was, let's see, 500 million XRP times, because you know he's not going to sell, 500 million times, let's do 50,000 a coin. Brad Garlinghouse is now 2.5 e to the 13th. Multi-trillionaire. So his gift from the New World Order elites for putting on this show and acting like Ripple is, you know, some sort of forward-facing company and DeFi and some sort of TradFi, like that's his gift from the New World Order elites. And so I hope you guys understand that. Like, there's always these beta cucks out there that are out there like, they have escrow, Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz. They're all part of the plan. Not the little beta cuck guy, but like, you know, Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz. They all know the plan. And I've told you 1,000 times on my channel, Brad Garlinghouse knows the plan. Michael Saylor knows the plan. David Schwartz knows the plan. And David Schwartz is also Satoshi. Satoshi knows the plan. Palm Beach Pete knows the plan. He was a member of Bitcoin in the beginning. He was scared of XRP. He was threatened by it. So it's all connected, guys. If you guys had done a 3,000-hour deep dive, you would know half of this stuff for sure. It's just, it's not very well hidden. It's not as hidden as you think. Moneymaker. Everyone, I think, wants tier 1 status banks will fight for you to park your XRP with them and pay you 10% a year, maybe a month to use it. Yeah. XRP is going to be the #1 tier asset on the planet. Banks are going to need it. And so they will look to other XRP holders to try to find how they can borrow some. And Ripple will be the lender of last resort. That's why they have the escrow. Merle, Ripple will be the new world bank or possible the new Federal Reserve. I hope the new Federal Reserve, even though it's bad stuff. I hope we end the current Federal Reserve because I fucking hate those beta cucks. Bull's not XRP. Mine was in Afghanistan, and he said he guarded poppy fields most of the time. I actually don't understand that comment, but I also have, we've gone on so many tangents in this live that I had no idea where we're at. 10,000 XRP at 1 PK dollars equals 100 mil. 10% a year is 10 million for the rest of your life, assuming you spent that every year. What is cold? Oh, so Sergio, so cold storage is a digital hardware wallet that's not connected to the internet. And I'll show you guys here without showing you guys the numbers on it, even though it doesn't really matter because you'd have to like physically find me and fight me and get the card and all that stuff. So this is a Tangum card. And so what it does is it has an A7 advanced computer hardware chip in it. And that hardware chip knows how much XRP I hold. And so I can transfer XRP to that chip, and then it knows how much XRP is in that wallet ID. And so that's cold storage. So Coinbase has a similar thing, but it's called, sorry guys, it's called a hot wallet on Coinbase. And it's basically essentially like they give you the rights to the XRP that you have, Sergio, on Coinbase, and they attach a memo to it. So Coinbase has like 16 billion XRP, and they assign a memo to your XRP saying that this is allotted to Sergio. So when they allot that to you, you have the rights now. But if in a liquidity crisis, like we're all anticipating for this big move for them to power XRP on and have XRP go to $100,000 during this period of time, they might, and they have the legal rights to remove your memo and give you the current cash equivalent at the time and say, sorry, we needed this more than you did because of the liquidity crisis. And they take your XRP and give you USDC instead. And that is why you want to move your XRP off of Coinbase and move it into a cold storage wallet. We use Tangum. We've talked a lot about Tangum, Tangem. And the only reason we use Tangum is because it's so simple to use that it's hard to screw up, which is safe. And they have not been hacked yet in 6 million wallets. So until that data changes, we will continue to talk about Tangum. And we are continuing one day at a time to try to address these situations. It is not easy to store crypto, but it is smart. Now imagine 10,000 XRP at 100,000 per XRP. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money. Let me put it this way, and I'll take this opportunity to limit all lands to say this. I think a lot of people think that the reason I sound insane in my videos is for fun. The reason that I scream and yell in some of my videos is because, like, I want attention. I promise you that's not the case. I promise you it was embarrassing a little bit to make a video where I'm screaming at the camera alone in my house. But the message that I was trying to send was infinitely more important, because I don't want anyone that has the opportunity to catch this once in a lifetime great wealth transfer. I don't want anyone to have missed it because I wasn't serious enough, because I wasn't strong enough, because I didn't spread the message in the way that I feel I should. And so the reason that my channel is growing, I think, so fast is because other people that are like-minded understand that this is a very serious thing. Your life is going to be significantly changed post-price appreciation of XRP. And you are going to become a steward of a significant amount of wealth that you didn't earn, but God meant you to have. And because of that, I don't want one single person that has the opportunity to see it miss it because I didn't tell them in the way that I felt I should tell them. And that's why I made that video like 3 or 4 lives ago where I sound like I'm insane. I sound like BitBoy. I sound like Alex Jones. But the reason I was so serious is because I feel like maybe there's and I felt in my spirit that there's probably like 3 to 5 people that needed to hear it that way, that maybe then bought some XRP, and we'll have a defensive mechanism against the New World Order and the new financial system. So Thanks for saying that, Liminal Lands, because yeah, this is bigger than everyone that even believes in XRP, I think, understands. This is a very, very serious mission here. Spooky G's, moneymaker. That's crazy, bro. I got right around that much too. Nice. A lot of conversations between you guys. Moneymaker. I, in my sailor voice, never sell your XRP. Yeah, you guys are gonna never want to sell your XRP. You're gonna want to rather sell a liver or a kidney before selling your XRP. But that's just you guys. I'll sell my XRP from MicroStrategies from Evernorth here, but you guys shouldn't sell your XRP. You know, I talked with GPT for about 3 or 4 hours. I was asking ChatGPT if I, could create like an XRP a leveraged product and give people yield through MicroStrategies. And yeah, so never sell your XRP, guys. That's my Michael Saylor impression for you, Moneymaker. Inner monologue. I want to see the Chris X Moneymaker show. So do I. So do I, guys. Merle. Hard to save people when they all think they're smart, but they're not yet a millionaire as a Gen X. Yeah. And, the Node network felt a little bit like that. Debating the Node network felt a little bit like fighting people that think they're so smart that they hurt themselves. And I never want to fall into that category. Look, I'm an insanely smart guy, but I never want to fall into the trap of like, I'm so smart that I can't listen. I'm so smart that I can't learn. I'm so smart that somebody gives me all this profound information and I miss it. I never want to fall into that trap. And so I appreciate you guys always being so kind to me. And like a lot of you guys have helped me stay grounded. And, this channel has become a family to me and stuff like that. But I never want to be so like the Node network. They think they're so smart that they won't listen anymore. That is where you run into problems. Jay Coben, Amish like the vanguard of the technology, fight over sovereignty. That was quite the sentence, man. That was quite the sentence. Spooky G's, even the Son of Man lowered himself to us. For it is written, the Son of Man didn't know where to lay his head, and yet I see all these people so prideful and thinking they're smart. Yeah, the worst thing that you can do, and the thing that I try to avoid the most on my channel, is to ever sound like I'm condescending, to ever sound like I'm prideful, to ever sound like I'm better than thou, to ever sound like because look, I have 1,000 flaws. I don't know if you guys know this. I have done almost everything wrong in life except for like I found the perfect wife, which God just sent to me, like XRP. God just sent me my wife. And I made the most beautiful children somehow because God sent them to me. I have a beautiful home. Got really lucky. I have a lot of great things going for me because God loves me. And God loves me knowing that I'm a giant fuck up. And I listened to a church service like a week or two ago. I was at church and I was just bawling because the head pastor was saying that, Jesus died for your sins and Jesus wants you to know your identity, and Jesus died for your sins so that you can have an identity through Jesus Christ. And I'm learning that very, very fast now. And this channel has allowed me to come alive in ways that I've never come alive before. And to have people semi-agree with me on this channel and to semi-be on my team, let alone say the nicest things to me and have my back, has been I think that the trigger that I needed to really come alive as a person. And I don't know if you guys understand this. Outside of the YouTube channel, outside of XRP, and outside of all this, you guys have made me come alive in life. And I'm really finding who I was meant to fucking be. And that's why I'm ready to fucking debate some more fuckers. So if you guys can find some more fuckers for me to debate, let's fucking do it. Sorry. Tangent. Yes, let's not be prideful, Spooky G's. And I know you're not prideful, Spooky G's. You are one of my favorite guys on the fucking planet now. Jojo, XRP community, we should build bunkers with our newfound wealth. I think a lot of us will, because it'll be fun and it'll also be strategic. Scott, you said a couple of days ago that you believe they could send it to zero before sending it to the moon. I'm guessing in order to liquidate everyone who's leveraged or has XRP as collateral. Does that them losing trust from the public in the new system? Does that fish them losing trust from the public in the new system fit them? It's all connected, yeah. So like, I mean, essentially, like the whole reason they control the charge is to try to get you out. If they don't succeed in getting you out, they're going to send it at a given day anyways. But they're going to do everything that they can in their power to get you out until then. So, yeah, if they sent it to, that's why I said that. It's not because I believe that they're going to send it to 0 for 6 months. Is that because if they sent it to 0 for 6 months, I would just laugh, walk away, and come back, and know that that was still the plan. That's how convicted I am. It's like they could send the price to whatever they want because they control it, trying to get us out, and I'll still know it's the plan. And that's why I said that, you know. And they do want to liquidate a lot of longs, so they don't have 100,000 more moneymaker XRPs that just make a half quick mill off of a long position. So that's why they send it down and they do those death wicks before they send it up. The market makers, but yeah. Spooky G's, apparently Moneymaker is Bruce Wayne. Yeah, I know. We're learning that Moneymaker is actually Bruce Wayne. Fire Guy Dale, love you, amigo, in a non-gay way. Hey, I love you too, man. I love you too in a mostly non-gay way. I love everyone on my channel. Bulls Not XRP, Chris and Moneymaker show has to happen. Yeah, and you too, man. Why are you talking about us? The Chris Bulls Not XRP and Moneymaker show has to happen, guys. Whether it's 3 of us, 4 of us, 5 of us, it has to happen. Kevin, when XRP goes over 500 plus and Bitcoin beta test coin goes to 0, will you do a live with Mike and Dan and Noah jabbed up squares and say, I told you so as a yawn? Yeah, we'll redo the debate about XRP number go up. And then after 38 minutes, I'll be like, guys, I just gots to go. I was up till like 9 p.m. tonight. I've gots to go. Very well said, Kevin. That will happen. Merle, Moneymaker isn't worried about the Domino Nord network. They are a joke. Oh, the Node network, yeah. But he is trying to warn people. Kevin, how scary and low will they drop the price for the final brutal shakeout? Kind of like I just said, like I anticipate them doing, they're not holding any punches back. I don't know why this lamp's not working. I'm trying to get more light on me, but also not blinding myself in the face. I don't have like a lighting system right here, but I don't want you guys to see a Sith Lord. They will, and let me put it this way, Kevin. The reason that the Riddlers used cartoons to draw their riddles was because they wanted, it's dual meaning. They wanted you to know that the price chart you're watching, and if you watch Marion Decodes on X, Marin Decodes on X, if you watch their X channel, you'll understand that, okay, this is all pre-planned. The charts were all pre-drawn. So what you're seeing is a second by second play out of a pre-planned PSYOP chart. So that's why I said they could send it to 0 for 6 months, and I would just know that was part of the pre-planned chart. They are still trying to hide their one world reserve currency. But at the same time, the reason I don't think it's going to hang out at 0 for 6 months is because they still want this to look as natural as possible. So at the end of the day, even though they control the chart 100%, they're only going to manipulate the chart to benefit themselves, and to benefit themselves, the chart number eventually have to go up. So that's one way benefit. Eddie the Great dropped the merch. Yeah, the extra easy peasy army. Yeah. Moneymaker, XRP, LOL, it sounds like a chipmunk speaking. LOL, oh my god, yeah, that was painful. Spooky G's, LOL, this guy, I've seen him on X. He spreads FUD on XRP all the time, and he's probably paid FUD. I have seen valid people on X come out and say that they were offered $25,000 to spread FUD on X. It's probably happening, guys, because the New World Order elites, remember this, when George Soros didn't want Donald Trump to win, or it was all part of one giant theater, but when George Soros didn't want Trump to win, he was spending millions of dollars and sending millions of dollars worth of like bricks and stuff for people to throw during riots. So how much do you think that they'll spend on FUD on X? Quite a bit, without a flinch, because they want us out. Merle, my future 17,000 will be 100 million, 1.4 billion according to Crypto Phoenix. Yeah. That's why it's so serious. That's why in my videos, when I'm so mad that people are missing this for the dumbest reasons, the number one thing that makes me mad, and the reason I get so raged and ranty on my channel sometimes, is because people aren't missing it for good reasons. They're not missing this great wealth transfer for really valid reasons. They're missing this great wealth transfer because they have too much pride to be wrong. They're missing, just like the node network, they're missing this great wealth transfer because they're too locked in and tunnel visioned on DeFi, thinking that this is all one big fun game that they get to be a part of. It's not. They're missing it because they don't believe in conspiracy theories and that conspiracy theories can be true. I mean, when I was watching the Node Networks version of my debate with them, I was reading their comments from their channel, and there was a guy called Crypto Stevo that was making fun of me the entire time. And I was like, yeah, you can make fun of me all you want until it happens. There have been at least a dozen things that I knew were going to happen in the last 16 years that did play out and did happen the second I heard about COVID. About a week in, I was like, okay, I've got them figured for this. I understand what COVID is. It's a virus psyop, and they're going to try to fuck with us. And they did. And then the second they came out with the medicine, I was like, nope. That's all part of it. And what do we find out 6 years later? Dr. Fauci was a fraud. That medicine was weaponized to hurt us. And I'm going to be just as right about XRP. So when you guys are trying to figure out, like, will XRP go up? Will XRP take off? The same exact actors like Fauci, like Brad Garlinghouse, like Michael Saylor, the same New World Order, elitist, trillionaire, fucking asshole actors are the same people that need, just like they needed C19 to happen, they need, not you. You benefit from because you know of. They need XRP to happen. They need XRP to be powered on. They need XRP to be very expensive. So you, for once in your life, benefit from being ahead of the New World Order elitist plans, and this will never happen again. This is why I get so mad on my channel, and I'm willing to risk looking crazy because I'm telling you this is going to happen. Just in the same way that Dr. Fauci told you that the medicine was safe and lied to you and is now on trial for injecting weaponized medicine to you and has killed millions of people. This is all real stuff. That is why I want to talk about the great wealth transfer, of which we are entering right now before they power this on. It is not a joke. It is not a game. And that's why I told the guys on the Node Network, this is not a game. And guess what? That idiot on their channel, that Crypto Stevo guy on the comments, when I said this is not a fucking game, he put laughing emojis. He could put laughing emojis now, but imagine 5 years from now when he realizes, oh, this wasn't a game. I'm trying to help him. Just because he's unwilling to see it does not mean this doesn't happen. Man, sorry guys. I keep on going into tangents tonight, but this might be my best live ever. Spooky G's. Of course, we are called to help everyone as followers of Jesus Christ. Yeah. Moneymaker, family guy with a gun. Nice, dude. Moneymaker, I love my country. Hate my government. I think Israel would agree with you and have the same sentiment for their country. I think Israel loves their country, but they hate fucking Netanyahu, that pre-planned psyop elitist cuck from America. Mark and Go, LOL. Nice name, dude. Brother, can you talk more about the Book of Revelation, the Mark of the Beast, and how XRP will give us access to the economy without having to install a chip in our brains? Yeah, so that's a great question, Mark, and I'll talk about that. So Revelations, I am in the firm belief after all my research, that we are entering Revelations. There's a bunch of reasons why. The mark of the beast and XRP are connected. I think Crypto Stevo on the Node Network, that guy who was talking shit about me, he was like, oh yeah, XRP is the mark of the beast, and he put laughing faces. I'm like, no. XRP is a foundational lever required to create a mark of the beast. So the XRP ledger and tokenizing everything and having all the world's assets tokenized onto one ledger so they can track everything, see everything, one all-seeing eye, kind of like the eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings, one eye that sees everything. Is their ledger. So you'll be playing on their ledger. But if you're holding XRP, the number will go up and your bank account will go up, and you will be able to use that wealth to prepare for when the time comes of which they come after Christians, they come after, anyone trying to do good, they come after people that are against smart cities, they come after people that are against global warming, they come after people that are against all the transgender, everything that they like try to push and promote, we will be against. And so as we enter the book of Revelation, and as we prepare to battle the mark of the beast, which I think will be something similar to Neuralink, something of which that they will give to the people in like a form of like a chip or a tattoo. But Steve Quayle says it best. Steve Quayle is a watchman on the wall. He's been around for decades, telling people, warning people, and I listen to thousands of hours of his videos. He's a devout Christian. The mark of the beast will try to be a genetic DNA altering device in your body so that you cannot be saved by Jesus. That is the end goal. So however many people they can convince to take the mark of the beast for convenience, or because they will not be allowed to buy or sell because they do not have the mark of the beast, those are the people that will not be able to be saved by Jesus, because their genetic DNA, of which was created by God and God's image, will be tampered with. But these people, before they take the mark of the beast, will know that. And they will sound and look a lot like Crypto Stevo from that live chat on the Node Network. And they'll be like putting laughing emojis. They're like, haha, I'm taking the mark of the beast. Fuck you. This is not a dangerous thing. And they will be fucked for eternity. And how will it give us access to the economy without having to install a chip in our brains? Let me put it this way. You were chosen at this moment in time before Revelations. You were God's chosen army. You were God's chosen children. You were God's chosen warriors. And you were chosen to hold XRP so that over the next few years, you can not only help people, but on top of helping people, you will be able to prepare for the beast system and prepare to wage war against the beast system. And that will require billions of dollars. And XRP army will be there, ready to answer that call when that comes. So I hope that answers your question. Inner monologue, Christ is real, was able to get baptized in Orthodox Church. That's awesome. The fact that so many believers are part of XRP Army just confirms it to me. Yeah, like one of my biggest confirmations, in fact, maybe potentially my biggest confirmation, was that when I told my mom about it, who she's like an angelic saint, and she has a YouTube channel. The only reason I haven't shared my mom's YouTube channel, even though like her content is more valuable than mine, is because I don't want people to find my mom and then connect her to me and then try to like figure out who I am for the sake of like the future fishers and scammers. That's the only reason I haven't shared her channel. But my mom, if you ever want to know about Jesus, my mom. And I know she created me, the psychotic ADHD fuck who loves Jesus, but my mom is a angelic saint who is also a pastor, who has seen some shit. And if I ever need questions about Jesus or God, or if I ever need some Jesus hopium, I just call my mom, and she'll have the answer every time. MB, you don't know the answer, but any combo on the subject would be appreciated. MB, Mark of the Beast. And hopefully I did answer your question, Mark. I know I'm still behind in the chats. Hopefully I answered your question. If not, just ask more. Serbolicus, man, good to see you. BR is buying. You all can't see this, but they are buying a lot. BlackRock. Yeah, behind the scenes. So let me put it this way. I'm actually really glad Sir Bullock has said this, because Sir Bullock is one of my OGs and they're fucking amazing. They are really kind to me. I will say this. BlackRock is buying a fuck ton, and I think they have already purchased a fuck ton of Ripple's escrow of XRP. And so the reason that Mr. Poole posted a chart of the 2008 Volkswagen price chart that is almost lining up to a T with XRP's price chart is because Porsche revealed on a given random day and made an announcement that they owned like 74% of the shares of Volkswagen, and the shorts got liquidated and the price shot through the roof for Volkswagen. That is why Mr. Poole always posts things that have dual meaning. So dual meaning both in the chart is very similar to XRP's chart, and we'll do the same thing on XRP. And also because there is an entity, whether it be BlackRock or the government or whomever, that owns already a fuck ton of XRP, and they will come out and announce it. And when that happens, that's why Baba Kug says all it takes is one announcement, because when that happens, number go up beyond your wildest dreams, and all of your hopium will be turned into reality, and you'll be like, fuck, what do I do with all this money now? That's why I made this channel. Merle, pride like a silverback through a little chest pump. We are still animals. Nice, dude. I love that comment so much. You guys make the funniest comments, I swear to God. Where was I? Trying to keep up. But the bigger the channel gets it, the harder it is to keep up with every comment. Bullsnot. I'm iffy on a show. I don't want my face out there as much as yours is, PEEZY. I just wanted a few people that hear my message to buy some XRP. I might feel different later. I'll say this, Bullsnot. You're a handsome fucking guy. I saw your channel and I was like, that's Bullsnot. When I think Bullsnot, I don't think handsome fucking guy with amazing eyes and that's buff. I think Bullsnot. And so when I saw your channel, I was like, what? I think people need to hear your voice. God didn't give you all this information and intel on XRP just to have you be like silent about it. That's why I'm here. I mean, and God gives me confirmation every day after every day. I'm here. And there's some people that Bullsnot XRP would touch and understand and get to see XRP that Easy XRPeezy wouldn't. And so I think that your channel is important, and putting your face out there is a good idea because people can see in your eyes. You know what you're talking about. And I think that having you on my show would be an honor, dude. Cannot wait for it. Subolicus, because they have been misled by the system. Yes, very well said. Can I just take a minute here? We're at 2.5 hours to say, I love all my OGs on this channel. And this live, other than the last live I made of where I poured my heart out from my notes, I feel like we've said some shit on this channel that's so real that if you are truly looking for which cryptocurrency is the one, you'll find it through this live. And I can't believe how much real shit has been said tonight. And I think that like no one has an excuse after watching this live to not get it. It's kind of insane. We've gone so deep on this live that it's like, I almost can't believe it. And I knew, let me put it this way. I knew for the last 16 years when I was researching conspiracy theories that it was not just for me, but I couldn't explain why. I was like, I don't know why I spent 16 years dedicated to deep diving all this stuff just for at the end of it to affect no one, have it like only benefit me. I know this stuff is coming. I know this is going to happen. And then God convicts me and the Holy Spirit convicts me to make the Easy XRPeezy channel. And then it gets 1000% confirmed why I was chosen to deep dive all of that information. So that by the time XRP came across my radar, I sniped it immediately and knew exactly what the fuck it was. I knew exactly what the technology was for. I knew exactly who it would benefit. I knew exactly that we would be able to use that financial weapon against them. And now the sunrise is coming on my face and I look angelic. Sorry, guys. I know that's too much, but we are easy XRP army. Is Lionel still in? XRP already hit over $3 though. No utility clarity. Did somebody block Lionel or put him in a timeout? I haven't seen his chat. Bullsnot, I don't want them to send any wolves after me. Don't worry, Bullsnot. They're sending the wolves after me, not you. I'll take all the wolves for you. If Lionel wants to eat crow, let him. Kevin, will XRP be repriced or will it organically have an insane market cap of the biggest company that ever existed 10 times? I think it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I think that there are far too many insanely intelligent people that have predicted what XRP is going to do to where I am 50-50 as to whether or not they'll reprice it by the IMF standard or they'll just have like some sort of insane repricing through supply and demand. So I don't think we need to worry about how it happens. Just understand knowing that this is happening and that this is their plan. And however they decide to power it on is however it'll be powered on. It'll be a very high price very fucking soon. And I think after price appreciation, you will not be asking yourself those questions because you'll realize, oh, they were going to do this all the time regardless. However they do it, they probably have 7 different ways they could do it as backups, but they're going to do it this way. So Bullicus is the only choice and only way we are telling you, yeah. Merle, both, yeah, I kind of agree. It could go either way. Both not. Kev, I think they'll reprice it somewhere around where it's been glitching at around 40,000. Yeah, 40,000, and then maybe they reprice it at 40,000, and it kind of like supply and demand its way up higher. It could be like any number of things. Spooky G's, the COVID vaccine was weaponized for the people over 60 to kill them off so they wouldn't have to pay their retirement when they get old, and they just did that. That killed so many old people. Yeah, I mean, it also killed young people too. It's horrifying. It was a biochemical weapon. Moneymaker, Kevin, in my opinion, both organic at first to under or maybe $200, then repriced way up from there. Yeah. There will be, I think, some sort of mini parabolic run in which they reprice it from there. And that first mini parabolic run, whether it's $10 or $100, that will be to get the remainder of retail out at a still semi-cheap price. And all the people holding XRP army that have been waiting for like a certain number, they will sell. And then there will only be probably, in my approximation, 25 to 50,000 XRP holders left. And we reap the rewards of true wealth for the rest of our lives till Satan finds me and his goons find me. In a monologue, when people bring up market cap, I like to think back to the early internet days where people thought billion-dollar companies were impossible, and now look, we have trillions. Let me actually speak to that inner monologue. So people talk about market cap simply because they don't know how wealthy and powerful the New World Order elites are. If you are right now, from a numbers perspective, to take the New World Order elites' wealth and transfer that to a new liquidity pool and pool all of the elites' wealth into one liquidity pool, you'd probably be sitting right around $10 quadrillion market cap. And so when I tell you people on my channel, the money is already there. I'm not talking about the rainforest being tokenized. I'm not talking about them tokenizing the business. I'm not talking about BlackRock coming out and saying like, you know, we're going to buy the remainder of XRP. I am talking about the biblical thousands of year old book written by the Lord and Jesus, explaining to his people, telling them that in the end time revelations, of which there will be signs, that there is one great wealth transfer from bad hands to good hands. It's biblical. You don't get biblical unless it's big. This is going to be a literal wealth transfer, because the New World Order elites, the trillionaires that exist to this day, that hide the tip of the iceberg of their assets within BlackRock, are going to come out and leave the old system to die. It's all pre-planned. And they're going to transfer their wealth to the New World Order, to the XRP ledger, the new financial system. And it is all hidden in plain sight. So when I tell you guys market cap doesn't matter, when I tell you guys the money is already there, when I tell you guys the Clarity Act doesn't matter, it is because this whole plan was to benefit the New World Order elites and their wealth and their power. And as a happenstance, by us, the XRPZ army, being attached and hanging on for dear life at the tail end of this giant machine they've created, you and your family will become instantaneously wealthy because this was their plan and they couldn't shake you out. That is why I sound so mad when people miss it, because it doesn't have the trifecta of value capture. I might even have to take that from this live and make it a live highlight so other people can see that. But I'm serious. That's why I tell you guys, the money's already there. And it has been for hundreds of years. This is the first time in which God's people are going to intersect or intercept that wealth transfer. Bolsnot, this decade has been about traumatizing the world, so we will swallow their new system. We give up freedoms to be sane from a problem they caused and also have to fix for. Very well said, man. Safe from the problem would be caused. Every single problem that they create, they kind of immediately already have a solution for it, like the jab. So gotta be very careful out there. Scott Ellis, I remember hearing theories of XRP being able to pay off the world's debt and starting over. Any info on that or how that could work? And Scott Ellis, I'll say this. Yes, that's true. Because there's going to be one global liquidity pool of which they pour all of the money in the entire world onto and tokenize the rest of the world and pour all that money into it too. I would watch some Crypto Phoenix videos if I was you, because he does a really good job of explaining the math. And Crypto Phoenix is spelled how it sounds. I actually forget, does he have a 777 on the end of his name? Crypto Phoenix. It's just Crypto Phoenix, Crypto Space Phoenix, and I'm subscribed to him. So I'll share that with you guys real quick, because I know some of you were the ones who recommended me to him. But I'll share this on my screen just so you guys can see this guy, this fucking legend. I give the macro and the conspiracy side 1000% for XRP and why it's going to be so expensive. Crypto Phoenix gives the mathematical and logical side as to why. It does say 777. Okay. So he gives like the absolute math and speaks in absolute as to why XRP has to be an insanely high price. And he gives you so much logic that you can't deny it. So kudos to you, Crypto Phoenix. What a fucking legend. And yeah, I'm a little bit crazy. I'm a little bit conspiratorial. I'm 1000% conspiratorial. And I also, but the thing is like, I want to make mention on my channel that I think a lot of people write me off because I talk about the conspiracy side so much, because that's, to me, the most important part. That's the part that lets you know that this is all pre-planned and that the New World Order elites that have all the power in the world are intending to power this thing on. That's the most important part. But I think a lot of people don't know that I've seen all the data. I've heard all the data. I've listened to all the channels that talk about the data, that talk about the charts, that talk about the why, that talk about the volume, that talk about the when, that talk about the money, that talk about the... I've heard it all. Everything that you've heard about the numbers, the data, the volume, I've heard it all too. Like, that's why I was saying on the Node network, nothing those guys were saying to me about the data was news to me. None of it. I've heard it all. I made sure to cover both sides. And so when I come out here and talk about conspiracy all the time, it's because that's the most important part, because the only way to understand why XRP will become so powerful, why XRP is pre-planned, why XRP is not speculative, is because I know all of the behind the scenes New World Order elitist plan for one world reserve currency. and it is very clear to me that this is what they're doing. That does. Thank you, brother. I will have billions. Nice, dude. Spooky G's, the mark of the beast is going to be no joke. It will be to the death, and it will be quite a battle. Yeah. Mark, I will die, but like Christ, so the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Yeah. All of us will be guided through this journey too. Sirbolicus, I know I was chosen. I knew 5 years ago. I knew I had to do it, dead or alive, and it freaked me out. Hopefully it was this choice he had for me. It's all making sense now. Wow. That's a really cool story you just shared with me, a really powerful story, and it gives me confirmation that what I'm saying is true. Spooky G's, I've heard many people say the rapture will happen before the 7-year tribulation. And Spooky G's, I'll say this, like, I have heard from some very, very powerful Christians that I am not sure the rapture is God absconding us into heaven as much as it is that Christians have a way out during this insane time that we have to live to. So I am a little bit hesitant on saying that the rapture is going to be God taking us all to heaven, all the believers, but hopefully, of course. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up in the comments where we were. Man, there's a lot of comments tonight. I apologize. Mark and Go would love a breakdown on how to prepare after price appreciation. If they force us to mark ourselves, I'd like to think die without it, of course. But it's going to be tough without being able to access food and water. Let me put it this way, Mark. As a quick little tidbit here, if you end up dying because you didn't take the mark of the beast, it's not the end of the world, because you'll go to heaven then. And remember, we're spiritual beings on this planet experiencing human experiences and physical experiences. And so if the time comes and you do not live because you did not take the mark of the beast, I don't think God's going to hold it against you. Sibolica, yes. Castlight, fellow ADHDer here. I get your notes. LOL. Yeah. The notes are really trigger words and sentences to get my brain to kick on from memory of what the fuck I've seen. And you get that. John Gilmore, can you give any context as to why you think price appreciation would be in the next month for what you said a few lives ago? So we had the Japanese reverse carry trade, which is a categoric 5 liquidity crisis, of which they lit the fuse for 4 or 5 months ago with the Strait of Hormuz closing. Japan gets most of their oil from trading from like imported through the Strait of Hormuz. And so Japan's economy is literally collapsing right now. People can say what they want about the reverse carry trade. People can say what they want about, what the yen's supposed to do. But Japan, like a month ago, came out and said that they are on the verge of having more bankruptcies in their country than ever before. And so somebody came out recently from Japan and said that they have to raise their interest rates to 1.75% from where they are now. And when that happens, all of the global markets that have been propped up by the yen for decades will have to sell their positions, regardless of the way they want to or not, in order to pay back the yen and revert basically the power to the yen. And then when that happens, there will be so much money moving and flowing that the current system that we have can't keep up with that. The current system that we have will freeze. The current system that we have takes 3 to 5 business days to process transactions like that. And there will be trillions of dollars trying to flow back into Japan, getting constantly reversed and converted between RLUSD and Japanese yen, RLUSD, Japanese yen. And Crypto Phoenix did a fantastic video on that. And so when this event plays out, the XRP ledger and Ripple are already shoved so far up Japan's anus that as this plays out and as they need to mint more RLUSD, as XRP grows in strength and liquidity, this will be the trigger that powers XRP on and allows the rest of the world to see it as the #1 liquidity asset and the most trusted liquidity asset and a decentralized liquidity asset and liquidity pool. And the rest of the world will see it as okay to start pouring their liquidity into this pool because they want in on that project as well. And they want to have a one world reserve currency. So that is why very, very fucking soon the price will appreciate. And then on top of that, if you want to take all that and just set that aside, the Riddlers have been controlling the charts with the supercomputer named Aladdin at BlackRock for the last like 10 years. And they control the charts. So when they want number to go up, they can just go click some buttons and the price will skyrocket and begin that process in preparation to absorb the liquidity crisis, of which is the Japanese reverse carry trade. So it's all pre-planned. So that is why the number will go up and it will blow everyone's mind. How fast? Conscious minds, as a chosen one, you must not be moved, emotional, or reactive to fear. Very well said, man. What a very well said roundhouse random comment. Evez, we love you more. I doubt it. I love you guys so much, and you guys are so amazing in that community, and you guys like support me so much that I no longer think I'm insane. We could have battles after price appreciation as to who loves each other more. I might win. Both not XRP. Thanks, PEEZY. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys more, guys. I don't know if you guys know what it's like to be an ADHD deep diver your whole life and be alone knowing all these conspiracy theories, and then finally find the reason that you were doing those deep dives to run into XRP and crypto and realize that this is the one world reserve currency pre-planned event that is not speculative, and this is a weapon they designed to aim against us, and we're going to use it against them. We are going to defeat the Death Star. We'll be the Rebel Alliance that ends up defeating the New World Order and the Empire, and we all in the end are already victorious because we believe in Jesus and we're going to heaven. And if you don't, that's not a religious channel. I'm just letting you guys know. We win. Slap. R&D Clapper. Slapper and Clapper. Dude, these names are killing me. Bro, I just found something crazy. It's about XLM though. XLM will be used. XLM is the little brother of XRP. So anything crazy about XLM is good for XRP. True Story TV 1897. The Earth is flat and Ripple XRP is the new financial system. The Great Reset. Very well said. I love these random comments that come in. They're just so fire. Scott Ellis, any thoughts on why the SEC canceled their meeting Friday? Because they're trying to time this. Anytime you see something that was going to be good for XRP and they move it, is because they're imagine this. Look at it from their perspective. You're the New World Order elites. You have a playbook. You have a plan. You have these dates that you're trying to play out. And you're trying to land all this shit to happen on one day. And you're like, okay, have them schedule the SEC meeting to give the announcement about OCC and basically the clarity around crypto. And then like you're like, hold on, this isn't ready yet. No, these guys, we thought these guys were gonna be ready by then, but they're not. And they're like, hold on, okay. And there's all these New World Order elites pulling these strings to make sure and coordinate that all this happens around the same time. Because if it doesn't happen around the same time, then it might not work as well as they wanted it to, and they needed it at a very high price. So when you see like these events get canceled, when you see the Clarity Act get pushed back, there's higher order powers that are saying, hold on, don't send that yet. And then all of a sudden, like, a lot of people have the argument that, well, because XRP hasn't happened yet, it's not going to happen. That's bullshit. It hasn't happened yet because they are trying to coordinate this, and they are not perfect, but they are very powerful and wealthy, and they're trying to make this land around the same time. So when they power it on, it's not wasted. So yes. So when the SEC gets delayed and you're not wealthy yet, that is why. Slapper and Clapper, it has to do with XLM's pump on October 31st and the SOFR compared to the Fed's EFFR rates. Awesome, dude. Yeah, share it with us. Merle, my main goal, no matter what, is to buy my paraplegic niece a new handicap van. My supercar is a second. Awesome. See, that is why you're chosen, Merle. You have such a huge fucking heart that I know if XRP only went it up enough for you to buy your paraplegic niece a new handicap van, you'd do it. You guys are so fucking amazing on my channel. You guys are such fucking warriors. You guys are such good-hearted people. You guys are such amazing, good-hearted people that I have no doubt all of you were chosen because of that. And God wants you to have this wealth because he knows he can trust you. Inner monologue. Apparently, there will be 2 meetings on the 19th and 20th when the CFTC and supposedly the SEC was told to. Like as Jake Claver says, maybe there's a there. Hold off until then. Slap and clapper. If you compare those rates against one another, the SOFR was at 7 basis points higher, which means cash was trapped in the system. And you also said this proves the Stellar network has been connected to legacy rails for years, along with XRPL. Fascinating stuff. I love learning random tidbits like that. So thank you for sharing that. And I also love your name to death. Slapper and clapper. Moneymaker XRP. Chris, sorry if I missed it, but do you think Ripple XRP are part of the white hats to set the record straight? I'll say this. I want more than any of you for the white hats to be real and we win and live in a golden age. But I'm 50-50 as to whether or not the white hats are a psyop to make us believe that that's going to happen and then that they still fuck us in the end. So I would love and prefer and give anything for the white hats to be correct and to have it be like they removed the Fed, they removed the global like debt and the US debt and the Federal Reserve, and like they take our names off the social security numbers off the debt. I would love that. And I hope that's true. But I cannot trust a hope yet. And I have to see more evidence that the white hats are going to do what they say they're going to do. So I'm hoping more than any of you that that's the case, because I'd be the happiest guy on the planet if all the stuff that I researched for the last 16 years wasn't going to happen. Happiest guy on the planet, even without XRP. Slapper and clapper. Oh, sorry, I just read that. Moneymaker, that's my feeling, in my opinion. Yeah, I hope so. Merle, Moneymaker XRP, you're exactly right. We are all right at some point. Conscious minds, last thing. I'm starting to notice escrow, create escrow, cancel transactions and tags on my wallet, or just peep XRP scan. Never noticed that before, like they're testing, preparing. Yeah, there's a lot of signs they're testing and preparing the system, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, JP Morgan sold 150 million in XRP last quarter, and everyone was like losing their minds about it. They're like, oh, they don't believe in XRP anymore. They bought it back. That just came out today. They bought it back. They took the tax loss on it, and they bought it back. Lower. Slapper and clapper, the liquidity was trapped and the VCG auction and surge pricing algorithms kicked in and set the price higher until they freed up that money at the Fed. You were talking so much amazing stuff right now. I don't even know if I can handle it. Moneymaker, slap. I think XLM branched off by Ripple's directive to corner all aspects of the market. DTCC has a patent that has them both as liquidity rails. Yeah. Mark and go. Fuck price. Don't care about price. I want to fight Satan. Nice, dude. You sound like me. I'm like, I don't care what this thing fucking does. I know I'm supposed to hold it, and fuck Satan. Even if number don't go up, I'm holding it so they can have that much more. Merle, Moneymaker XRP, go buy some dinar and or dong as well if you can. Get it cheap to the US dollar. Yeah. So Brandon Biggs talks a lot about that. Brandon Biggs also has mentioned that like there's 5 assets, including the dinar, silver, and like XRP, that are going to be part of this great wealth transfer that God has intended for his people. And he said, some of you are meant to hold them all. Some of you are meant to hold one. I personally have the conviction to hold XRP and none of the others yet. And that's like, I feel like after like 10 months, the spirit telling me that. And so my asset currently for the wealth transfer is XRP. But it will, I will expand upon that as I feel necessary, for sure. But great word, because that is going to be a move. The dinar is going to be repriced. And I remember Brandon Biggs saying that the dinar, when it gets repriced or revalued, you'll want to act fast and convert it to US dollars to capture that move. Bull's not talking about the Bible with the hood on and the light coming from the back was a crazy image, PZ. Yeah, I know. And that could have been God, but it was something. OC, Chris, first time for me viewing your channel, based similar timeline for me also on conspiracy research, 12 plus years. Damn. We keep rolling, yeah. Because what choice do we have? We know all this shit is coming to play out. We know all this crazy shit is going to go down. We've seen half of it go down already. We know we're not crazy. We get frustrated when we tell people and they won't listen, or they don't want to hear it. So kudos to you, man. Respect to you, OC8028, for being a 12 plus year conspiracy theorist. It is not an easy journey. There's a lot of weight to bear, and it feels very alone a lot of the time until you create a YouTube channel about crypto and everyone believes you and understands you. Moneymaker Merle, I heard about it, but have no idea where to get it, to be honest. Sirbolicus, I always knew I would be in an army of God. This may be it. You can't explain it. If you feel it, you already know. I do. I do feel it. And this is just the beginning of a long journey of being an XRP holder, because this is a pre-wealth XRP holder journey. The post-wealth XRP journey will be just as difficult, but for 1,000 other reasons, because you will want to help everyone and you can't, even with your wealth. And you will have to ask God for divine wisdom as to who to help and why. And that will be very difficult, because there will, I know this already, there will come times, Sirbolicus, when you want to help somebody, but you will feel in your spirit they're not ones you should help with finances. And it will make you, it might even make you cry. You're like, I wanted to help them so bad, but God told me that I'm not supposed to help them with finances, even though you have millions in the bank. And that will be a very difficult thing to navigate. That's why you're going to have to rely and lean on God through all of it. That's why we're stewards. We're not investors. We're not beyond smart investors. We are just people that saw this because God showed it to us. And we were chosen to hold it. And so you will have to steward that correctly. And that will not be an easy journey on its own. Bulls, not XRP, they really want the trifecta to be a thing. Dave wants it to catch on in a real way. Yeah. Like the first thing they told me about was their trifecta and Mickle. So like, yeah, we coined this thing called the trifecta. I was like, oh, cool, you coined something. Big Parks 10, got to go study for a few hours. God bless you, Chris. God bless you too, Big Parks 10. You're chosen. So what are you studying, by the way, if you're still on? Be cool to know what you're studying. Merle, banks or airports, moneymaker, interesting. Never, where'd it go? Sorry, I lost the comment. Where'd it go? Moneymaker says, interesting, never thought about those places. Merle, moneymaker, XRP, $1,000 in each should go a long way. And love Crypto Phoenix. Yeah, me too. Merle, moneymaker, I'm looking into it as well. Check your bank first. Might have to order it in. If it's already close to 1-to-1, then pass and look elsewhere. DNFLYA made it back to my camp. Another workday complete. 15 more days to go before I fly back home. Nice. It will be a nice 3 weeks off from these Alaska oil fields, man. I tell you, man, I can't even imagine what that's like. I've heard it's difficult and dangerous work. But man, you're almost done with that. So kudos to you, man. Merle should be around 20-to-1 either. Moneymaker, count it all joy when persecute you for righteousness' sake, for yours is the kingdom of heaven. Very well said. God bless us all, baby. Mark and go, LOL. God won't hold it against me, but he might cult me for not buying guns and property to fight back instead of spending my money on strippers and watches. Hey, we all have our crutches, man. We all have our crutches. That's all I'll say. Watches are really nice. I don't know about the stripper thing, but God wants you to have it all, man. Merle, I knew someone would go there. Randy Graves is in the house, guys. Hey, guys, Seahawks lost, damn it. I wasn't watching the Seahawks. And Randy Graves, I think you're the one from Lake Stevens. Is that correct? There's either you or Ron Horn. One of you. One of the ones that starts with an R is from Lake Stevens. I think it's you, Randy Graves, because you would be mad about the Seahawks. Suede HTX Crypto Phoenix just dropped a new vid 10 minutes ago. He did. Let's watch a little bit of it. Let's see here. Refresh his page. I can't believe Crypto Phoenix only has 4.8 thousand subscribers because he's the fucking GOAT. Well, what an opportunity we have here. Oh, yeah, like Stevens, yeah. That's awesome, man. Let's put him on here because we have the time. Share and watch. Share. Let's put on, after all this crypto crazy talk, and
This is the Tangent Wallet.
let's put on the
Okay,
professor.
guys, no video. Why XRP must start at 45K, 72K
It must.
from day one. And it's going to be an administrative repricing, and we're going to go, and we're going to leave no doubts about it. So let's start. Why
What that would mean for
45K
us?
and 72K makes sense as a start evaluation, as I've been saying for a very long time. If a corridor must support trillions in settlement capacity, then each XRP must carry massive economic weight. Why it must start high and not climb gradually, as many other people are saying. A gradual climb cannot satisfy corridor activation, RLUSD issuance, liability compression, institutional throughput, balance sheet neutrality. The system needs full density on day one, not market discovery. This is why repricing is administrative, it's instant, it will be binary, either it is or it's not, and it's non-market related. Starting at 45,000, 72,000 is not moon math. It's the density required for the architecture to turn on. Why this will take the crypto scene by storm? Because the repricing event is a discontinuity, it's not a rally. Most of the people, crypto world, expect charts, candles, linear moves, cycles like the Bitcoin halving, and no, the repricing is a systemic recalibration. This is a reset, a balance sheet event. It's a collateral density reset, and you have to understand it in a collateral manner. It will look like XRP jumps from $1 to 45,000 or 72,000 or whatever the system decides it needs to be repriced. It will be overnight without any trading activity causing it.
Can I just say that I agree 1,000% with Crypto Phoenix? Like, honestly, like, look at it this way. Because Crypto Phoenix is trying to share this with you guys based on the math. The BIS is connected to XRP and Ripple. And the BIS could come out and say for Japan that for this liquidity crisis, that they are going to reprice XRP to X. And I wanted to cover this tonight. And I'm glad Crypto Phoenix brought it up, because imagine if, like, the New World Order elites told Coinbase and called that cuckface, who I think is Mark Zuckerberg, but also known as Brian Armstrong, with, you know, a bald Mark Zuckerberg. If they called him and told him, put your asking price now, reset it to $45,000 for XRP, that would be an overnight repricing. And all the institutions in the world would now look at this asset and be like, okay, if I want to hold XRP on my collateral to basically save us, we need to buy it at $45,000 XRP. And so if they wanted to reprice it, yes, the world power elites wouldn't even have to necessarily put all that money into it. They could just come out and declare that because fuck the world, and because the world's been backed by a debt crisis for like decades, like, this asset that we created is now worth $45,000. Not even worth. This asset is now priced at $45,000 so that we can mint enough XRP. They've done stranger things. They've done weirder things. So it's not impossible.
Now, this will break every mental model in crypto. And people will say, this is impossible, this violates market logic, this is manipulation. How can something be one day today and $100,000, $70,000 today? But the answer is simple, and you guys already know it, because markets do not set collateral density. Institutions do. The system in this case is what will dictate the repricing, the price, the real collateral, the value density of XRP. And this is why crypto scene will be shocked, and the casino will close forever its doors, because the event is outside the domain of trading, and they can't comprehend something that they've been. It doesn't understand what XRP really is, what collateralization really is. Even some of you, you guys are waiting for XRP, will be surprised.
And don't forget, like, I want to add this real quick here, because this is the night crew we have here. Now, all of you guys that are on the channel right now watching this, they get this. You got to understand. One of the Riddlers at one point in time, he wrote down, he said, if you think $589 per XRP is a lot, you better sit down. And I've said before, like $1,000 wouldn't make me need to sit down. $5,000 wouldn't make me need to sit down. If you thought $589 was a lot for XRP, you need to sit down. And right now, Crypto Phoenix is laying this out mathematically. XRP cannot be $1. It cannot be $10. Cannot be $100. And he wrote, XRP cannot be $1,000. Those numbers cannot support the architecture. And the SBI, the CEO of SBI, the main financial institution in Japan, that said XRP will be very expensive, means tens of thousands. And it fits with his math here on Crypto Phoenix.
XRP must be priced at institutional collateral density, not market speculation density. If you guys go and watch those guys saying $10, $3, $3.50, by the end of the year, $12, $20, $300. In other words, XRP cannot be $1, XRP cannot be $10, XRP cannot be $20, XRP cannot be $50, XRP cannot be $100, XRP cannot be $1,000. Those numbers can't support the architecture. Very expensive, as Yoshitama Kitao said, means tens of thousands. Exactly the 45,072 range I am proposing. So why 45,000, 72,000 is the safe starting zone? Look what I say, safe starting zone. Not that is a capped ceiling, not it will be frozen, not that it needs elasticity and not like that. It's the starting point, right? The repricing. Below 45,000, and if you guys been watching my videos, you know corridor throughput will fail. And RLUSD cannot scale, collateral pools will break, liability compression will become unstable. Above 72,000 to start, it's unnecessary, it's over-collateralization, it's excessive density, it's not going to be needed in the beginning because it's a safe starting zone and imbalance between corridors. Now, so the safe activation zone is 45,000, 72K, depending on corridor size and reuse multiplier. This is why the system will start there. Not 5K, not 10K, not 20K. Those numbers are too low for a tier 1 activation. And I'm going to explain in deep.
So in the XRP realm, or sorry, I should say in the crypto realm, all the XRP haters that say XRP going to $100 won't happen, he just said 5,000's too low, 10,000's too low, 20,000 is too low. It cannot be $1,000 to do its job. Imagine this. Elon Musk came out and said on X like a month ago, he said, in the future, we'll spend $1 trillion to buy antimatter to fuel our new rocket ships. And everyone thought he was joking. I think he's serious. So when Crypto Phoenix comes out and says that they will make the price of XRP whatever they will because they control it all, they will reprice it at an amount that benefits them the most to create the new liquidity pool. This was always a tool designed. I think a lot of you guys don't know what XRP is. I think a lot of you guys think that XRP is a crypto asset that happens to be named XRP, but is not the new one world reserve currency. And I think that a lot of you are mistaken in thinking that like XRP is just another cryptocurrency and it has 100 billion tokens, and that like, you know, this, and this has to happen in order for the number to go up. Not understanding that I believe David Schwartz decoded an ancient technology of a currency and created the XRP ledger in order to fulfill its purpose. And this new financial weapon does not work under $1,000 per coin. And so it'd be like the same thing as understanding like, well, what if they came up with like a new laser? And they were like, this laser will allow our soldiers to win every war because these laser guns are so powerful. But each laser requires like, you know, 1.2 million gigawatts or something like that. You know, at the time you'd be like, well, that's great, but like, you know, that's too much. There's no way we have that much power. What if they already had that much power? What if they already had the ability to use those guns? And so when Crypto Phoenix comes out and says, based on the math, this tool, this financial weapon will not work without it being repriced to $45,000 minimum, you've got to take it seriously.
With example, the crypto market price is irrelevant. Institutional price will be set administratively. You like it or you don't like it, I don't care. Get it in your brains. This is why the repricing event will shock the crypto scene, because it will violate every assumption people have about how price works. Why Kitao's comment implies a high starting price, not a climb, a gradual climb. Kitao knows that corridors cannot open at low prices. RLUSD cannot scale at low prices. Liability compressions cannot run at low prices. Balance sheet neutrality cannot be maintained at low prices. RLUSD is what will give liquidity, and if we need liquidity, you cannot get liquidity at a low price XRP. Therefore, XRP must start at full density. What did I say? It must start at full density, not at $1, not at $3, not at $5, not at 3, 30, 50, 100, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Not climb to it, not discover it by the markets, and not rally into it in a linear, gradual event. The markets are irrelevant for collateralization. So why corridors will arrive all at once and why is needed at a very high density. And we're going to go very deep. Corridors must all arrive at once because they cannot function at low density. And activating them one by one will collapse the system through liquidity fragmentation, imbalances, and regulatory failure. A very high XRP density is then required because each corridor depends on the same collateral pool architecture. And that architecture cannot operate unless XRP is already priced at institutional settlement.
So think about what you're watching here. You are watching the professor discuss the numbers as to what XRP's price will be. And you have to understand, I'm trying to translate the best I can, to understand. Let me put it this way. When C19 happened, did you guys understand what was going on? Did you guys understand why there were lockdowns? Did you guys understand what the vaccines were? Or did you witness it play out in abysmal shock? That is what is going to happen with XRP. You will not understand why. You will not understand how the XRP price went so high at one random day because this event played out. And that is why on my channel, I'm so convicted in sharing with people and letting them know, like, hey, look, this is not a joke. This is going to be a repricing so that the New World Order elites can have their one world reserve currency, their one world reserve liquidity pool, and their ledger that will power the entire world and track and control you. And so when all of my crazy conspiracy thesis aligns with the theory of Crypto Phoenix and why he says it can't be $1,000, and why the Riddlers, as crazy as they are, but have been right 1,000 times, say that, you know, if you think $589 is a lot for XRP, you better sit down. The Crypto Phoenix is explaining to you right now why you need to sit down. You were chosen to steward this wealth. That's it.
Density. They're interconnected. You cannot have one corridor with one price, too low, too high, not one opening. Then everybody will try to use that corridor, and then it's going to have bottlenecks. So no, all the corridors must arrive at once, all at the same. They're going to have each collateral pools. In the beginning, each will have like a minimum amount of XRP. I'm assuming it's going to be like that. SBI, Santander, and Standard Chartered in UK. Let me give you an example, right? Imagine this 3 tier 1 corridors. SBI Japan to Philippines, Santander Europe to Latin America, and Standard Chartered UK to United Arab Emirates. Each corridor requires deep liquidity, tight spreads, predictable settlement, collateral pools with sufficient density, right? Imagine all are like Vanguard, SBI, they have everything. They can do everything. They need so much liquidity that it's crazy.
I think you just mentioned Vanguard, which on my channel I've mentioned Vanguard, the Rothschilds, the multi-trillionaire families that have been running banking systems for 100+ years. I will say this, I think that he nailed it on the head right here. They don't care what you think is possible. Why do you think they've dedicated 14 years or longer to try to shake you out from XRP and make you think it's a shit coin? Why do you think that is? Do you think it was because it was going to 10x? Do you think it was because it was going to 100x? Or do you think it's because it was going to 1000x? What if you were wrong about it all? What if you were wrong in the sense of like thinking like, oh, well, XRP is going to go to $1,000, so they want us out? No. XRP is going to go to $10,000. XRP is going to go to $50,000. XRP is going to go to $100,000. So at every stage, they are trying to get you out. Why? They want more for themselves, more power for themselves. And Crypto Phoenix is explaining to you the math. That's why they call him the professor, because he's explaining to you the math. It cannot work. Their plan that they have been planning for decades cannot work. Cannot work. Not won't work as well. Not won't work as well. Cannot work at under $10,000 a coin. So let the professor teach.
What happens if only SBI activates first at low density? Assume XRP is still $1 or $100. SBI tries to activate its corridor. Immediate failure will occur. Their pool can only hold, let's say, 20 million, 30 million XRP, right? Then they're going to have a small amount. At $1, that's 20 million, 30 million capacity, right? This is an example. Right? I don't know what their collateral pool, their pool will be, but I'm giving you an example. So at $1 equals 30 million in capacity. At $100, that's 2 billion, 3 billion capacity. But SBI needs hundreds of billions in throughput. So SBI corridor cannot settle, cannot compress liabilities, cannot maintain spreads, cannot maintain balance sheet neutrality, cannot have enough liquidity. Their corridor collapses on the first large flow. What happens if SBI activates at high density, but Santander does not? Let's assume XRP is repriced at 45,072K, but only SBI activates, only one corridor, not all at once. SBI corridor now works perfectly, but Santander corridor is still inactive. Immediate systemic imbalance occurs. SBI corridors have high density collateral pools. Santander corridors have zero density. Liquidity routing becomes asymmetric because there's only one side of the equation moving money. The other one is not. RLUSD flows becomes bottleneck. Why? Because there will be only one side moving RLUSD and generally issuing RLUSD. Cross-jurisdiction settlement becomes impossible because there's not enough corridors open. CCPs, clearinghouses cannot clear multi-corridor flows. Auditors cannot sign off on balance sheet neutrality. And the system becomes unstable and practically useless. What would be the cross-border settlement with only one or two corridors available? This is why partial activation is impossible. What happens if SBI and Santander activate, but Santander charter doesn't? The standard charter, not Santander. Standard charter is in UK. Now, two corridors are active. One is...
He says standard charter is in UK. Do you remember the Riddler saying that it all starts in London? And you remember Mr. Poole showing the diagram of the Japanese flag starting the domino effect? Crypto Phoenix doesn't believe, this guy who's making this video, he doesn't believe in the Riddlers. The Riddler said it all starts in London. He just said standard charters in London. He just said SBI, the #1 Japanese financial institution. It starts there. And Mr. Poole posted a picture 5-6 years ago, and you guys still don't believe in the Riddlers. 5-6 years ago, Mr. Poole posted a red Japanese sun bouncing and starting the domino effect. I wonder why Jake Claver called it the domino theory.
Now, what happens? Immediate regulatory failure occurs. Multi-corridor settlement requires synchronized collateral density. Liability compression cycles requires all corridors online. RLUSD issuance requires full corridor mesh. They all need to be interconnected. Basel risk model requires uniform collateral density. And clearinghouses require complete corridor availability. They have to check everything. So if tier one corridor is missing, compression cycles break, reuse multipliers fail because there's a chain. A receives XRP to bank B, that's the same to bank C, bank D, and so on. Remember that I gave the example? Well, if one corridor is missing, you cannot have the reuse multiplier chain. So that's another example. RLUSD cannot scale, and the entire architecture stalls. The system cannot run with missing corridors. That's why the corridors and everything will start at once. And if you start like linear, one at a time, slowly adoption, nothing works. Why all corridors must arrive at once? because the architecture is interdependent. Collateral pools, liability compression, RLU issuance, routing, corridor mesh, reuse multipliers, important, settlement loops. You will not have cross-border settlements because there's only one corridor open. These components only work when all corridors are active simultaneously. If one corridor is missing, compression fails, routing fails, RLUSD issuance fails, clearing houses fails, regulatory compliance fails.
Can I just say, for all of you fucking warriors still watching this live, can I just say what Crypto Phoenix is trying to say, but he's got too strong of an accent and he's too smart? I will say it to you guys in plain English. There is a reason that God managed to write in the Bible that there is a great wealth transfer from bad hands to good hands. So if you think that your XRP is going to go to $100, or you're not even sure if it will, if you think that your XRP is going to go to $1,000, or you're not even sure if it will, Crypto Phoenix was sent by God to give you the math, to explain to you why in a most unbelievable fashion. I understand it. I understand you guys. If you guys think it's unbelievable for XRP to go to $100, if you guys think it's unbelievable for XRP to go to $1,000, I agree. Everything about XRP that I've ever looked up is unbelievable. That doesn't mean that after thousands of hours of deep dive research that it's not true. It doesn't mean that after thousands of hours of research that this is a financial weapon. Imagine this. You know how he's saying right here, like if they don't send it to a certain price, it doesn't work? Imagine the Death Star, which I equate the XRP ledger to the Death Star because it's just as much a financial weapon as the Death Star was like a planetary weapon. XRP is a financial weapon they intend to use against you and tokenize the entire world. And their jugular is exposed right now because you can still go onto the Coinbase and buy XRP. So because that's the case, they don't want you to know this doesn't work under $10,000. It doesn't work. Imagine if electricity was like the currency and they said, we're about to power on the Death Star and it's going to take 100,000 trillion gigawatts. And you're like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. You didn't design this. They designed this weapon. They designed this financial weapon. They have the power to turn this on and administratively reprice this thing. They have the power to turn this thing on and use the liquidity crisis to FOMO the price up to whatever the price they want it to be. They have the power to do this. That is why you're holding XRP. And so when I go onto the Node network and I debate these fools and I explain to them all the different facts as to why XRP is the one, why XRP is the only one that could be used, why this is all pre-planned, and they don't hear it, you're hearing it. All 55 of you watching right now at up to 3.5 hours of this live, all 55 of you are elite warriors in XRP army. And you guys were chosen by God to hold and steward this wealth. So what you shouldn't be worried about is how high is XRP going to go? The one thing you guys should be worried about is how am I going to steward this thing? How am I going to ride this thing? How am I going to control this thing? How am I going to make sure that I don't waste God's wealth on nothing? So let's listen to the professor.
So all corridors must activate at the same moment, not gradually, not sequentially, not linearly, not one by one. This is why the repricing event is global, it's not local. Am I clear? Do you understand now why everything will happen at once? If XRP is underpriced, the pools fail, the corridors fails, compression fails, RLUSD cannot scale, settlement fails.
I'm sorry, I won't cut Crypto Phoenix off too much more. But if XRP is underpriced, and by underpriced he means under $45,000, pools fail, corridors fail, compression fails, RLUSD fails, settlement fails, and just for the sake of this video, for all the people I know are warriors watching this channel, do you think the New World Order elites pre-planned this for 100 years since the Titanic sank and they instituted the Federal Reserve. Do you think they pre-planned this to fail? No, they did not. Sorry. Quick tangent. They did not intend to fail.
So high density is not optional. It's a mandate. It's a must for the system to turn on. So this is why 45,000, 72,000 makes sense as the starting density, not the destination. Let me repeat it, not the destination, because I don't know how long I have to repeat this and people come and say, you cannot have a fixed price. It's not a fixed price, guys. This is the starting point. So give you the final example, the one that kills the debate.
I'm sorry, I gotta pause the video one more time. Do you guys, even if you're not amazing at reading people, do you guys hear the physical pain in Crypto Phoenix's voice? So when you guys hear me come out and be crazy, just because Crypto Phoenix isn't willing to come out here and sound crazy, when you guys hear me sound crazy, do you guys not hear the physical pain in Crypto Phoenix's voice as he explains this? He hurts for the people that miss it.
If XRP is $1, no corridor can activate. If XRP is $100, no corridor can activate. If XRP is 1,000, no corridor can activate. If XRP is 10,000, corridors can activate but fail due to insufficient density. If XRP is 45,000 to 72,000, all corridors activate, have enough liquidity, have enough leverage, and they all will activate simultaneously at the same time. And the system now becomes stable, interconnected, and cross-border settlements, and everything can happen at once with no issue whatsoever. This is why Yoshitama Kitao said XRP must be very expensive. Corridors must arrive all at once. Repricing must be administrative. Repricing must be instant. Repricing must be high density. And he said, we're going to use it in everything we can. There is no other configuration that works. And I don't want to hear none of you saying, but now it's Canton. Canton doesn't compete with XRP. How many times?
I wonder if he's talking about the node network right there. Like, when he says, like, I wonder if it'll be Canton and mocks them, what does the node network talk about, Canton? I wonder if Crypto Phoenix has seen some of my videos. Crypto Phoenix knows the math. Crypto Phoenix has probably done similar deep dives to what I've done. He is in physical pain when he talks about people who don't get it. This is the great wealth transfer. I don't know if you guys understand what wealth transfer means, but it does not mean $100. It does not mean $1,000. This is the great wealth transfer. It'd be one thing if biblically they rewrote it as, like in the Bible, like eventually bad hands will give good hands some good money. No, God was literal. When God wrote in the Bible in Revelations, there's a great wealth transfer, from bad hands to good hands. Do you think he meant $1,000 a coin? Do you think he meant $500 a coin? Or do you think he meant the great wealth transfer? Because the people that were chosen to hold this asset, the people like you that were chosen to hold XRP, people that make it to the finish line of understanding that this is the new one world reserve currency and didn't get caught up in the whole DeFi psyop, the Bitcoin versus XRP psyop, understanding that this is not about us. But when this happens, whoever holds XRP will become the new 1%.
I have to make this statement. If anything, Canton competes with the likes of Quant. It's not a monetary rail. So stop associating Canton with XRP. Because one idiot puts Canton is going to kill XRP, you believe that it's the same.
Get him, Crypto Phoenix.
45,000, 72,000 is the safe activation zone because it is the only density where all.
Okay, I'm sorry. I won't pause it anymore. I'll pause it as low as possible. But I would pay 1,000 XRP to watch Crypto Phoenix decimate the node network. Wouldn't you guys? Should we start our own liquidity pool to donate XRP to Crypto Phoenix to have him go on and destroy the node network?
All tier 1 corridors can activate simultaneously without collapsing under global load. Below 45,000, corridors fail. Above 72,000, corridors destabilize. Between 45,000 and 72K, the system is balanced, compliant, and survivable. My assumption it should be around 72K, not 45K. 45K will be too limitless, very on the limit. But they need enough RLUSD. So 45,072 is not the ceiling, it's the activation zone. The system is not ending there, okay? The system will continue, the corridors will keep expanding, PQ will keep increasing, so the price will need to increase. And this is critical because it prevents every future misunderstanding about repricing. And a lot of you say, you're repeating too much, you're repeating too much. But what really happens is that I repeat too much and you still don't get it. That's why I repeat that much.
Can I just share the Crypto Phoenix sentiment right now? When I had comments telling me that my video yelling at the camera was too much, my video yelling at the camera was going out the deep end, my video yelling at the camera like 4 or 5 lives ago was like going to scare people away and they weren't going to get it, I got to let you guys know, if this were about an asset going to do a 10x, I would have never made a YouTube channel. If this were an asset that was going to go to 100x, I would have maybe considered making a YouTube channel. But when I found out that this asset was going to go to 1,000x and 10,000x from $1 stablecoin phase today, and that anyone that held it was not only an elite in God's army and chosen to steward this wealth, I would have never made my channel. So when you guys see me convicted, I didn't start this channel for subscribers. I didn't start this channel because I wanted people to make 10 bucks. I started this channel because I was like, this great wealth transfer is coming. No one knows how big it's going to be. No one knows how pre-planned it is, except for me, it seems like, when I watch YouTube videos and X. And apparently, nobody can see through all the bullshit shakeouts that they did to make the price $1 today, because no one will believe that it's going to $50,000 tomorrow.
It's not the fixed price. It doesn't end at 72K, okay? And I'm going to continue repeating. If you don't like it, move somewhere else. The activation zone, 45,000, 72,000, comes from RLUSD throughput requirements as well. Every tier 1 corridor must support trillions of RLUSD, and we've seen it in our last videos, of settlement volume. Not millions, not billions, trillions. And this is the real constraint. XRP must be repriced high enough that its total market value can collateralize the RLUSD settlement throughput. And this is not an assumption, it's a hard requirement of the system. Why 45,000, 72,000 is not the ceiling, it's only the starting point? Because RLUSD throughput grows after activation. Now pay attention. So you stop repeating it's a fixed price. Those listen and pay attention. You're going to pay any attention on this.
He just called out Jake Claver. Okay, I've been in this space deeper than most people. Not only was he just calling out the node network 2 minutes ago by saying like, oh, it can't go to this, it can't go to that, it won't be used, all this other stuff. He just called out Jake Claver by saying, I don't want to hear that the price can't grow after repricing. There's only one person on the planet that has said the reason it needs to grow is so that it can continue to grow in a natural fashion and be flexible, is Jake Claver. I think Crypto Phoenix Live, like Extravod called it, Easy XRPeezy just called it. Crypto Phoenix, the mathematician, the professor, the guy that understands how this has to play out regardless of how believable it is or not. He just called out Jake Claver vicariously and said, I don't want to hear how it can't grow after being repriced. You guys have any idea how big that statement is? Any idea?
Video is this. RLUSD will continue growing after activation. So more corridors, more jurisdictions, more settlement volume, more RLUSD will be issued, more compression cycles, more institutional adoption will occur. As RLUSD scales, XRP density must increase to maintain the balance sheet, the compression stability, the corridor symmetry, and the settlement throughput. Settlement is key here. So 45,072K is the activation zone, not the ceiling. The ceiling is higher, determined by future RLUSD throughput. More adoption leads to more settlement volume, leads to more RLUSD throughput. When more institutions will join, more payments will flow, more Forex conversions will occur, more cross-border settlements happen, more clearinghouse compression cycles will run.
I'm sorry, I said I wouldn't pause it much more, but I gotta let you guys know. He is talking about changing the entire financial system to run across one liquidity pool. And he understands the math. He knows the XRP ledger, just like myself. He knows the XRP ledger is the only one that can handle this type of volume. But he isn't even talking about tokenizing the entire world. So when God chose you to hold XRP, and he told you not to worry about what other people thought of XRP, when he told you not to worry about what you hold, but to know what you hold, but when he told you not to worry about what XRP is, why it's named what it is, who created it, why it's created, when God told you you were part of the one world elites, the one world biblical wealth transfer, you need to know what you hold. You need to understand how serious this is. This is not about making a couple bucks. This is not about a 10x move. This is not about your family going from like the middle suburban to like the high hills. This is about a one world order global transfer of wealth, and you are the recipient. You were chosen. You are the one for this moment. You are God's creation. You were chosen for this moment at this point in time, and the Phoenix, the crypto Phoenix, the professor is explaining to you the math. And if you can't handle it, give yourself time. But there's a reason that the Riddler said, if you think $589 per coin is a lot, you better fucking sit down.
More treasury operations route through RLUSD. This increases what? The throughput, not the circulating supply. Very important to understand. RLUSD is minted and burned dynamically based on settlement needs. So the process is institutional adoption, then RLUSD throughput, then XRP density requirement. RLUSD throughput is what forces XRP repricing. RLUSD throughput must be collateralized by the XRP's value density, not its quantity. Okay? So this is key. RLUSD throughput will continuously growing as more adoption, more institutions, more countries. XRP supply always stays fixed. Therefore, XRP price is the only thing that must rise to maintain collateralization in the equation. Okay? If you need, you continue the need of RLUSD for throughput, then it must come from XRP, but you cannot increase XRP. So the only thing that you can do is increase the price, the value density. So this is why 45K, 72K is the sweet spot, not the ceiling. for the starting activation. As RLUSD adoption keeps growing, XRP density will increase and must increase further for the reason that I just explained. So, example, SBI plus Santander plus Standard Chartered UK.
I just saw a comment here I want to address. XRP FLYA. I said still a mini moon and shakeout then, or if Crypto Phoenix is correct. If Crypto Phoenix is correct in his analysis that it cannot be used until it is actually powered on, then yes, the mini moon phase is pointless and dead.
So let's say SBI corridors run 1.7 trillion RLUSD. Santander corridor run 1.2 trillion RLUSD. And Standard Chartered corridors run 900 billion in RLUSD. That's a total throughput of 3.6 trillions in RLUSD that these three institutions need. Now, add that remittance rates, forex desk, CCP compression, treasury operations, and real world.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off the Crypto Phoenix again, but Conscious Minds just said, and I want to read this because it's so important. It can be made any price based on its value. Look at what it does and what it can do. This is no joke, guys. We've never seen anything like this before. And I agree 1000%. I've said this tons of times on my channel. And Conscious Minds just said exactly the things I say. This is no joke. This is not a game. We've never seen anything like this before. You will not ever see anything like this ever again. And everyone that missed this opportunity will be sadly fucked financially. So very well said, Conscious Minds.
Assets and more and more and more that it starts like adding into all these operations. So now the total throughput easily reached 5 trillions and 10 trillions needed in RLUSD liquidity. Correct? Are you following me? Now XRP must be repriced high enough to collateralize that throughput that now increased from 3.6 to 10 trillions. And you need to have elasticity too. You need to have extra. So this is why more institutional adoption equals more RLUSD throughput and equals higher XRP density. That's why it's not a fixed price. Am I being clear enough? Why RLUSD throughput grows exponentially? Institutional adoption, it's not linear. When one bank joins, its counterparties join, its forex partners join, its remittance partners join, its treasury partners join, its CCPs join. This creates a network effect like an avalanche all at once. If you come with all your buddies to the party, right? You don't come alone. So RLUSD throughput grows like 1, then 3, then 9, then 27, then 81, then 243, and so on. So this exponential growth forces XRP density moving upward. So why XRP must start at 45,072K? Because RLUSD throughput begins in the trillions on day one. Not millions, not billions, trillions.
Why make trillions when we could make thousands? The Node Network.
XRP starts at $1, it's impossible. $100, it's impossible. At $1,000, it's impossible. At 10,000, corridors collapse. At 45,000, 72,000, as starting point, the corridors can activate safely, had enough sufficient liquidity, enough issuance of RLUSD, and everybody's happy. And there's no rough problems running out of RLUSD, not enough liquidity, interconnection issues, reuse multiplier counterparties, disappearing out of the system, not having enough. So this is why 72K is the activation zone and not the ceiling. And by the way, you know why everything must happen all at once. All the corridors must happen all at once. It cannot be linear. It cannot be a market-related repricing. So why XRP density increases after activation? I explained that. Once the system is live, RLUSD adoption grows. It will be in the trillions. Throughput increases, more corridors join, more jurisdictions connect, more clearinghouse cycles run, more treasury operations route through RLUSD. And this forces XRP density higher. So the long-term density zones looks like 45,000, 72K for the activation repricing, 72, 100K will be early expansion zone. Probably it will take a few. And when it's a global settlement and the whole world is running, which I don't know when it's going to happen, don't ask me when, probably will be in the 100 to the 200 and so on. It depends on how big, how the institutions, how corridors, how throughput and settlement requires. So now, don't ask me the timing or when the XRP will be 100K or 200K or what.
I've got to add one more thing. You guys have heard me, the crypto conspiracy theorist, 100 times say, this is not speculation. These are not speculative assets. This is not a game. And Crypto Phoenix, at the bottom of his video here, almost towards the end, says in black and white, none of this is speculation. It is collateral math. If they intend, and he's challenging the New World Order. He's challenging Ripple. He's challenging XRP. He's saying, if you motherfuckers intend to power on this New World Order, one reserve currency financial weapon, it will not work under $40,000 per coin. So when I go on the Node network and I let them have it, when I go on 4 lives ago and I make a rant video saying that I don't want anyone to miss this, I am not trying to make you $1,000. I am not trying to make you and your family $10,000. I am telling you that once in a lifetime wealth transfer is going to happen soon. And when they power this new financial weapon on, everyone will look at it as the new financial Death Star. And the second that the Death Star blows up its first planet, people will believe, okay, all XRP Army was correct. All of XRP Army was right. All of XRP Army was able to see through the bullshit. And I wish I had listened to XR Easy Peasy.